probably wondering, why the fuck is there a sword here? I'm going to use this sword to describe what social skills and social calibrations is. Don't worry, it's not a real sword. It's just a metaphor. So let's begin. What I'm going to teach you is that there are 4 types of flirting out there. It is not all direct flirts. For a lot of you, you think directly giving her a compliment or flirting directly. There are many, many, many different types of flirts they have not taught you in this industry. I'm going to be talking about how my students do it and how the naturals do it. And the reason why I'm making this video is because my student results is the science of everything. The science of Daygame, because I have the most student results in the world. Because it is a science, we don't dismiss their results. Their results shows you what works and what doesn't work. And I think that's very important. I have every right to talk about that. However, saying that, let's begin. So, what's the first type of flirt there is? Well, the very first way is called social calibrations. Who uses social calibrations? The John elite students. Basically, if you have your body language all corrected, whenever you talk to women, you're standing up straight, your shoulders are back, you're standing 45 degrees, and you're moving your hands, facial expressions. What that does is it creates like a Wi-Fi signal. So the very first one is called social calibrations. Social calibrations. But how does that fit into the flirting style? And a lot of people were confused. That's why I'm making this video. Very last time they were confused. So imagine is over here all the way to the Instadate ID. So what usually happens here, and this is the top, her emotions may be up to here in the beginning, and then slowly goes up and up and up and up. So basically, it's like a Wi-Fi signal. All of this over here, as it goes up and up and up, right here, it is all gradually building more and more attraction. That means, despite what people say, if you don't go direct and flirt, then how come my students from Elite 30 and so many students, which I can back up with their testimonials, are getting this kind of results over and over? So this is the first type, the social calibrations. The second type is called the direct flirting. So this is the direct flirting. T-I-N-G. So how does the direct flirting work? And no, it's not just these 2 styles of flirting. There's actually a lot more. And trust me, I got so many friends that are naturals. So many, even in the inner circle and other places. I know this stuff. I'm not referencing just one natural. I'm referencing like over a dozen of them. And you're going to see how they do it, and you're going to see how my students do it. So number 2, the direct flirting, and this is the upper line. So what happens is that every single time you give her a direct flirt, it spikes up the emotions. But whatever goes up must come down. And as you're talking with her in a conversation, you give another spike. And then overall, another spike. And then you keep flirting over and over and over and over. Flirt, flirt, flirt. So it becomes excessive flirting. But when you look at the volume between this one and this one, and if all this is just water over here, which one has the most water? Thanks, man. So which one has the most water? That's a better question. So if we can highlight, this is the water in red, right here, you can kind of see now how much attraction you're building. You're like, John, you're seriously using Elite 30 to build attraction? Absolutely. Because one of the people that was a natural, he was a Pakistani guy, but you're like, he's not the Pakistani mentor. No, no, no. I'm talking about a different mentor. He didn't mentor me that much. There was a 5'4" guy, very, very short. And he had his own way of doing the flirting, which I'll talk about over here, the third one. So the third one is called the question flirt or the indirect flirt. Indirect, you're like, what is this shit? What is this sorcery, John? Indirect reverse flirt or indirect flirt. What's the best way to name it? Indirect question flirt. So while you're still building up, this is actually a good style of flirting, by the way. Because when you go indirect, you're not directly saying that she has sexy legs. And this is what the effects of yoga or something like that. This is actually a very different way. You'll be asking her. So there'll be two things at play here. Number one, it'll be exactly the same as gradually building the attraction. But at the same time, because you're asking a question, you're not going direct. You get this extra piece over here of the spike. So any single time that you ask her indirect question, you're still flirting plus this. You see that? So as it goes up, you have a little bit more to spike along this line. Well, it doesn't look very big. So for example, instead of talking about you got sexy legs, do you look like you do yoga? That's a direct flirt. So how do you indirectly flirt with using a question? So of course, all this stuff is exactly the same as above. You're still using your body language and social skills to build attraction. But over here, now you got a little bit more spike than before. So you can ask her a question. What do you do to keep in shape? She might say yoga. And then you can ask her an indirect question. It's almost like you're doing your social skills as this builds up, and you ask her, so are you a flexible person or something? You can lower tonality, but it's very, very indirect. So are you a flexible person or something? And she giggles because she's like, well, I can do the splits and blah, blah, blah. Now you lead her mind right into a flirt. You see that? Now you got a little bit more than before. You could also ask her, and why is this style relevant? This is designed for the shorter naturals. So the very first guy is a 5'4" Pakistani guy. He dresses really, really well. Just not exactly like me. He's into that Versace shit. Peacocks a little bit. But because he's a natural and he's only 5'4", his game could still slice right through everything. And how does he do that? How does he do that? Why would it work? Why would it slice through everything? It's very, very simple. Very, very simple. Because he doesn't have to go direct. And also my student that had 150 lays in Australia, for him, he always goes indirect flirting. He'll say something like, do you like it when other women pose your hair? And then she's like, I guess so, right? Sure. And then he'll ask a second question. And his second question is, do you like it when a guy does it? You see that? Now she's thinking sexually, and she's like, oh, okay. Right? And she's giggling. Does that make sense? That's interesting, isn't it? So the short 5'4" Pakistani natural does this, and so does the student with 150 lays before he went with somewhere else. Don't worry, this is not a real sword, so I can't really cut with it. So don't worry, it's not a real sword. It's just a decoration piece. But, however, I digress. You can still cut, or I can still poke very well, and I'm not a violent person. So if I'm a violent person, that'll be like type 2 psychopathy. But that's not me. I'm not a violent person. So, however, saying that, so what's the last type of flirt? You're like, wow, there's so many different. I didn't know that there was a question flirt. Well, what do you think I learned it from? I learned it from the naturals. Some of the naturals that does direct flirting are usually guys with higher SMV. They have higher sexual market value. And I'll explain that afterwards. And let's see, what's the fourth type of flirt? What's the fourth type of flirt? So, okay, this one is very, very strange. Most of you have never heard this one before. The fourth type of flirt, this thing's blocking the way a little bit. Hold on a second, get rid of that light. The fourth type is called the unidentifiable emotion. Unidentifiable to able, maybe I spelled it wrong. Emotion. Okay, unidentifiable emotion. So what the fuck is that? So if this is the line over here, this is what they do. And let's say this is the top. They'll vibe their SMV, but they'll use a lot of emotions. Sometimes I have these naturals that are very, very annoying. I used to know two of them. One of the guys used to live right in the next apartment, and he used to day game with us, me and my old roommate. We day game with him, but he's annoying as shit. But whenever he talks to women, he's always like, they're always talking like, you know what's great? Yeah, he does that, blah, blah, blah. And they talk like this. They really vibe as much emotion as possible. They are not doing a direct flirt. But when they vibe the emotion, they're like, you know what's great? Yeah, you know, so for me, I've actually done something like this. But what about you? They just throw every emotion at the women. You're like, really? Give a thumbs up if you're learning something. Because this is sponsored by Elite 30 from Hard Case to Hero, the only course that you don't need to excessively flirt. And the naturals use exactly the same technology because they all have the same social skills and the same social calibrations that they don't want you to know. But let's continue. So basically what they do is they splat an emotion over here. Splat, right? Right? And then they go back to a normal conversation. And then they try to vibe it. So some people may just laugh or have a nervous laughter and they hit her emotion. She doesn't know what emotion that the guy is trying to vibe. But however, it always turns into sexual arousal. So he might be laughing, nervous laughter, or he might be vibing a lot of emotions. But this is like a casino. These are like the chips. And all of a sudden it turns into money. So he'll be talking again, he'll be vibing like this. There's no identifiable emotions here, none. But however, this takes these big chunks of emotions. It's like pouring sauce on it. It's not just spicing, you're pouring sauce. You're like, holy shit. You ever see naturals do that? They talk to the woman, you know what's great, blah, blah, blah. And they just keep doing that over and over. Yes, blah, blah, blah. And one of the guys was in Japan. So one of the naturals, my old, like, the next neighbor, fucking annoying as shit, always wants to be like, hey, we should hang out sometime. We should hang out and day game. I fucking can't stand him. And there was a guy that went to my Pakistani's mansion. He's from California. He does exactly this similar style of flirting. He's always throwing the emotions. Before, he came here about a decade ago, and he banged a woman right behind a dumpster in Vancouver. But a lot has changed. And he is annoying as shit, just like the other neighbor. So therefore, I kept calling him by that name. It starts with an S. That guy is fucking annoying. But they throw a lot of these emotions, and they do flirt a lot with the women. The truth is, for a lot of naturals, all of them that I've noticed, all of them talk with the women all the time. But one thing you don't realize is sometimes if you're missing information about naturals, it becomes a half-truth pill. So can you give us an example of a social calibration of flirt? So it's not about a social calibration of flirt. I want to reference exactly what the 5'4" Pakistani guy did, although he only mentored me twice. Basically, what he's done is that he says, John, for the women, they're usually in the first minute, nothing happens as it gradually goes up. And he says within like 3 minutes, she'll be thinking of you naked. 4 minutes, she'll be thinking of your dick. 5 minutes or 6 minutes, she'll be thinking of your ass. What he means by that is that if you have a perfect body language, Elite 30 style, you may feel like you're not accomplishing anything. But for my students, you're wondering, why do they keep getting laid? It's because the gradual, attraction being built. That's what happens when you can maintain that body language throughout the entire thing. She starts to melt. Her pussy starts to melt. But most people can't do that because they're twitchy as shit. They hunch like crazy, and that's why they're fucked up. So now that you realize, you wonder, why does so many of my students not even flirt at all? You got guys from Kaizen who's never done a single flirt. All they learn is the body language, and they're still able to close in Germany a 40-year-old, a 20-year-old, and a 19-year-old after that. How is this possible? Because the first flirt is the one that is exactly what they're doing, and they don't want you to know this. They want you to think it's all direct flirts. Direct game, direct flirt, natural. Fuck that. Forget about direct flirts. Start choosing which style works best for you. And for my recommendation, the indirect flirts are really good for guys who are Asians who cannot move their facial expressions or change their tonality. If you cannot do that, you should be choosing the indirect flirt. That is superior. And for everyone else with a decent amount of SMV, and the Asians these days are just ego tripping like crazy during the end of lockdown 3. My system is the only day game system that works during COVID-19. I released the course before COVID-19. It works during COVID-19. It works during lockdown 1, lockdown 2, and lockdown 3. How the fuck is that possible? So let's talk about the next thing. What's the characteristic of a natural? Because a lot of my game is from a lot of these naturals. So why do naturals talk to every single woman they find? They go out there, they talk to guys, they talk to women, they talk to guys, they talk to women, and you're like, what the fuck? That's why I brought this sword over here. That's why I brought this sword. So imagine for this sword that every single time that whenever a natural starts talking, he's sharpening the sword. It's like creating this pattern. Do you see that? And this pattern can get dull over time. This pattern can definitely get dull over time. So what they're doing is that every single time they talk to a guy, boom, they just sharpen the saw. Their social skills, exactly like the chart I told you, social skills, social calibrations, emotional control, and game. And that's the truth. All of the naturals use it. That's why I talked about that shit, you know? So that's one sharpen. They talk to another woman. Boom, they're just vibing with her, and they're just talking, they're flirting, having a good time. Then now he sharpened another piece of the sword. You get it? He sharpens and sharpens, and then whenever he's ready to day game, it's sharp. It cuts right through everything. And all the naturals sharpens their body language because they have perfect social calibrations. This is not something that's mentioned. Sometimes for the half-truth pill, they don't mention these things because they don't want you to know these things. But the body language also sharpens the saw. So the best way to understand it is if you are going to cut down 100 trees, I would spend 80% of the time sharpening the saw. Make sense? I'll spend 80% of the time sharpening the saw. And you're like, holy shit. So you're saying all these naturals are going out there socializing with everybody. That's what they're doing. That's correct. And whenever you look at a natural, perfect Kaizen body language. The perfect. I've never seen anyone with more perfect body language. They all stand up straight. But there's a difference between those naturals and, you know, it's almost like they have the perfect elite 30 plus they have the chillness or the calmness. It's almost like all their muscles are red elastic bands, all completely relaxed. They have a perfect posture, but a relaxed muscle. And they're very, very relaxed. Even their faces relaxed. They're very chilled. So it's not always about emotional impact of the direct. It's the emotional control. And you're like, wow, that's so interesting. That's correct. And other things that you see is that not only do they have perfect elite 30 and elite or Kaizen, it's built into their body language. It's by default. They never actually were taught how to do this stuff. And I asked one of the guys, like, why is your body language like this? It's like, they tell me they don't know. My Pakistani mentor is like that too. And which style does my Pakistani mentor use for flirts? He does not flirt at all. He just builds attraction. He gets the fuck out of there because he knows all the women are 9 out of 10 gets hit on by so many guys. He only does the flirting through the text game, and she begs him to meet. So for him, as a natural, he does the opposite. He does the first one, which is the behavioral game, the body language, without questions. He does not feel the women he should give any validation in terms of flirting. His body language always gives off a sexual intent. So how does a sexual intent work? It's very subtle. If you are standing up like an RSD zombie, you might be giving sort of like a, oh, I'm going to have to build some self-amusement and social, or, you know, I have to build some self-amusement, cocky, funny. I have to build attraction. So they'll stand up like this, and their only goal is to be a fucking clown. But my Pakistani mentor, he's always having this in his mind. He always thinks to himself, I'm going to bang this woman no matter what. You know, she's going to enjoy the sex. She's going to enjoy the sex. And there's nothing she can do about it. She's just going to show up at my place. And you see that? When he thinks like that, his body language, these small subtle cues. So even if he's having a platonic conversation, even though his social skills are perfect, he is sharp, very, very sharp. And that's exactly what was happening. Not sure why there's less people here right now, but I'm just going to preach the gospel to expand your neural pathways. So that's how he does it. And you're like, wow, that's so cool, man. And this is another tactic. I should not reveal this, but before he got 15 women in a row and he fucked them all, and they're all like 9 out of 10. So this stuff works. This is how you flirt. This stuff works like gangbusters. It worked even better. Basically, he brought home 2 female friends. I was like, why the fuck would you want to deal with female friends? Why would you want to deal with female friends? Isn't that like friend zone or some shit? It looks boring as fuck. And he said, no, John, you don't get it. By bringing women here at home, I get more comfortable. I sharpen my social skills. I sharpen my saw. And plus, he sharpens the emotional control, the chillness. So he becomes more comfortable with women. I was like, that's a smart idea. I never thought of that. Because in high school, I got friend zoned by... I had a big social circle in high school, junior high to high school. And when I tried to cash in on the social circle, because I wasn't the leader of the tribe, I got friend zoned. And it fucked me up so badly that when I went to university, I thought to myself, I got to learn everything I can possibly learn to become a pickup artist. That's where 2001 happened. That's when I started to use the lay guide. But however, that is the downfall, because this pickup artist bullshit is just nothing but autistic zombie shit. It's almost like the naturals are humans, and most humans have social skills, guys. Not all of them have good body language. But however, the PUAs are all zombies. They're just kind of fucked up. They're like a zombie if they get offended because you're not using high vibrational energy. Then they'll be like... all they do is spam approach, like brains, I must eat brains. That's all they do. No skills whatsoever. They can't learn it. And when you try to tell them stuff, they're delusional as fuck. You say, listen to your infield over here. You sound fucked up. This sounds angry. And they're like, I can't hear it. I listen to it, like zombie mode. But I listen to it, but I can't hear any mistakes with it. It sounds pretty good. Brains. The title says 4 flirts and you gave 2 flirts. Count how many is there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 flirts. 4 different styles of flirting. So what can you count? First one is the body language is a flirt by itself. You're still flirting, but you're doing it with your body language. Number 2, it is the direct flirting. Does that make sense? The direct flirting. There is no lines in my game. There's no lines in my game. So how is the naturals able to come up with some witty shit? It's because they have the elite 30 body language, all of them. They flow from the universe. It's like a universal connection. Because they have a good body language, the women might say, like, what do you do for a living? And she's like, I'm a nurse. And, oh, okay. I hope, maybe I can catch COVID-19 and I'll wind up in your hospital. I'll be like one of those dirty old men that keeps flirting with you. And she's like laughing. Ha 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 ha. And I remember another natural, he'd go up to women and he always say to something like, oh, I got to go home. That's what the woman says. And this guy always says the same thing. Your home or my home? But how do they come up with this witty shit? My Pakistani mentor can come up with this stuff nonstop. I'm not going to tell you how he does it. I'm not even going to teach the inner circle. But there are ways he's reprogramming his neural pathways. And he's able to come up with this witty shit. All the naturals do it. They come up with one witty line after another. So she's like saying, I got, for me, I'm going to university, I'm studying something and something like that, right? And they might come up with some witty shit like, for me, I'm becoming a porn star. You ever see me in that movie called Debbie Does Anal? That's me. I'm just joking. And then they vibe, they sauce. You see that? That's a style of saucing, or that's more of like a direct flirt. There's many different ways. Indirect flirting would be like, what do you do to keep in shape? She does weightlifting. So, for example, she says she does weightlifting, right? So do you do squats all the time, or are you a flexible person? Even the indirect, that's an indirect style of flirting. Does that make sense? So there's many different ways to do this. Indirectly, you can say, oh, looking at your legs, right? You must be into yoga or something. You look flexible. That's more of the direct flirting. They'll lower the tonality and they'll slow it down. So they'll be like, oh, you do yoga, right? You must be a flexible person. Or, oh, you do yoga. I can see that your legs look very flexible. So that's a direct flirt. I'm saying that is not the only way of flirting. And they may think that all naturals flirt, flirt, flirt. That is the only thing that they do, that they have in common. No, I would say because I know so many naturals, that is absolutely inaccurate. The only thing they have in common is two things: social skills and social calibrations. They're all chilled. So they have three things. Their game is automatically 7.5 out of 10. You're like, holy shit. So you're saying they're born like that? They're exactly born like that. I'm just telling you guys the truth. I'm telling you guys the truth. So think about it this way. There's different styles of PUAs, and there's different SMV types. So what kind of strategy do you want to use? For example, the first type is like Mike Tyson. They're a little bit bigger, they have more SMV, and they can throw more hooks. So we can say, for example, a jab is social skills for the naturals, but for the zombie PUAs, that is just what they call conversational skills or some verbals. So that's talking back and forth. That's a jab. So the jab is usually the left hand. So for them, they'll be jabbing on the left hand. And for the right hand, that's a right cross. That's a tease. This is what they call a tease. So what happens is if you keep jabbing, right cross and tease. So what's Elite 30? I have to be careful with this watch. So I'm going to put this down. I don't want to break it because last time I broke a watch like this and I was doing this punching shit, it cost me so much money to get the fucking Rolex repaired. It's like fucking $400. Fucking assholes. Anyways, I digressed. So having said that, the jab is the conversations. The right cross is, like the teasing. But what's the hook? This is the flirt. Hook. Who throws hooks like this all the time? Mike Tyson. He's always doing this peekaboo style, which is a little bit of body language. Because the body language, like Mayweather Jr. Have you ever seen him fight? He fought with Logan Paul recently. That guy knows how to block all the punches. So, for example, Mayweather Jr. is more of a counter puncher. So he's a counter flirter. And I'll show you Mayweather Jr. defense. Mayweather Jr. Hold on a second, bear with me. Jr. defense. All right. So basically, over here in this video, how is it like Elite 30? What will happen is that Mayweather won't get hit. Elite 30 in social calibrations, which sharpens you, like this sword over here, is exactly like Mayweather. You can't hit a guy who is sharpened for the body language. So, for example, you can't hit this guy. So this gives you advantage. He's a counter puncher too. That means you can't hit anything from him. He's just a walking, like, you might as well try to hit like a big towel, because you can't hit shit. Everything will be missed. That's what E30 is for the body language. And the longer you do this, the more she gets attracted, because you are on the line. She's gradually building attraction because she can't knock you the fuck out. See that? She can't knock you the fuck out. And you see he's counter punching now. You see that? That when you have a good defense, you can counter punch. You see that? So Elite 30 is the body language of a natural. But however, a counter punch is, that's almost like the flirt. You got to know when to do the counter punching. And Mike Tyson, his style of fighting is a lot different. Let's see. Mike Tyson highlights. Mike Tyson highlights. And why do different pickup artists use different styles? For example, you might hear that there are naturals out there with huge lay counts. I know guys, multiple guys that are white and tall that have more than 1,000 lays. I know their behavior. They're not always positive people. One of them boosts his numbers with Asian women. You're like, what the fuck? Yeah, in Vancouver, he bangs a lot of Asian women too to supplement over 1,000. These guys are 6'3" and 6'2". They're very, very tall and they're good looking. Their looks are like 10 out of 10. Of course, they'll be a little bit on the natural side. I thought all the counter punching was tease. Well, in this case, it's a tease, but I'm going to get to the point later on why. I'll try to use a metaphor, try to make you guys understand. I'll try and make you guys understand the different fighting styles. It'll make more sense. Let's start with Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson. Okay. Highlights, hopefully. Mike Tyson is more of a guy who throws a lot of hooks. You see that? Hook, 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 uppercut. That's a touch. See that? So he throws a lot of, this is more for guys that have more power, more genetic advantages. They'll be throwing hooks after hooks after hooks. You see him? Hooks, hooks. This is like a direct flirt. Metaphorically speaking, it's like a direct flirt. Another hook. See a hook, uppercut, hook, 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 uppercut, hook. See that? Hook. Okay, that's just a right punch, right cross. His defense is not as strong as the shorter guy, Mayweather. Hook, 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 uppercut, hook. So that's like a touch. There's a bunch of flirts and touches. So there are some POAs out there who decide to use this particular style, which is excessive flirting, which is really the second thing, direct flirting. So what am I trying to tell you here is, why do they have two different strategies? I'm going to draw it out for you so you guys can understand why would people do this kind of thing. And it doesn't mean automatically you have to use direct flirts, because even if you talk about naturals that has over 1,000 lays, I know naturals with over 1,000 lays too. Hell, I might even know the same naturals with that, that he claimed he has 1,500 lays, although, I Daygame with that guy, in Europe. I Daygame with him. And it's interesting. I learn a lot. And this chart comes from him a little bit for the emotional control. It's not just about excessive flirting. He has perfect body language. I literally have so many. I sneaked out there, and I used to eat oatmeal with him, and he's flirting with women everywhere. But if he tried to do that in Vancouver, so I asked him, how many lays did you get in Vancouver? And he said 2. I was like, what the fuck? But how many lays do you get all over this other places? Like over 1,000. Like how many? Is it over this? And is it over 1,500? That's what I heard at that time. And he says it's a scary amount. It's a scary amount. So that's his behavior. But like these other naturals, of course, you say, well, the other guys are 6'3" and they're good looking. They look like 10 out of 10, both of them. That's not game. I know, but they don't always excessively flirt for one of them. The other guy excessively flirts. One of the guys is so confident that as soon as a woman goes by, he'll walk up to her and he start doing fucking exercises like this. You know that? He'll be doing shit right in front of her and he starts gaming her. You're like, what the fuck? They're so confident. Some of them, I get it. They're white, they're tall, they have perfect social skills. They're all millionaires. All of the naturals. The 2 white guys are millionaires. Pakistani mentor multi-millionaires. They're all millionaires. High value millionaires. This is like a higher caste of naturals that I know from the inner circle. Lots of them are rich. And the guy from California who came here, he's rich as fuck. His dad is fucking rich. And, he even knows all the Silicon Valley people in California. He knows Steve Wozniak. He knows all the celebrities and stuff like that. I'm not going to tell you what he does for a living, but this guy is spoiled as shit and rich as fuck. So basically, this chart was heavily influenced by 2 people. One Middle Eastern guy and a short 5'4" Pakistani person who mentored me for a little bit. Not the tall Pakistani mentor, but social skills. This is how you sharpen it. Social calibrations. All the naturals, every single natural has perfect elite 30 in Kaizen body language. Look at your friend who's a natural. Did you notice he's very chilled? His body language is perfect. And no matter what, he always stands perfectly confident, but he's always not tense. He's always so relaxed. And you're wondering why. He was born to do elite 30. If they don't tell you these things, now you know. Emotional control was from this other guy. Emotional intelligence, emotional control. That's very important. So my students take ashwagandha to calm the fuck down. You get it? And the last one is game. Game is not super important because this is the zombie shit from the, fucking PUAs, the autistic fucking PUAs, sociopaths. This is only 2.5 points each. 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. So we can replicate this exact strategy here. Intelligence and game. So exactly what method does Mayweather use? He starts this way, okay? Social skills. He snakes down this way across. Emotional control. And then lastly, game. That means for the naturals and all the people that don't do excessive flirting and excessive zombie tactics, like zombie RSD victims, guess what? They go this route first. I had a black student who was in the military. You remember that tall black guy? He just kept doing the other way. He started the opposite direction. He started with the game. You see that? Game, emotional intelligence. He's always vibing his SMV like Mike Tyson. You see that? Always throwing hooks, 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 hooks in the uppercut. Barely any fucking jab. Barely any social skills. Barely any teases. Just keeps fucking hooking. So it became game, emotional control, and it snakes around here. Back to social calibrations. And if they're not using social calibrations in most cases, some dating coaches have so much fucking SMV, they don't need any body language. They can hunch their way to victory and still get it done just by these two. Because their perceived natural status is high, and this is all they need. And I use the word perceived natural status because I myself did not know that other guy was Middle Eastern. I was like, whoa, shit, you are Middle Eastern? You look like a white guy. And he's like, yes, I am. I was like, fuck, where are you from? I was like, Iraq. Holy shit. Really? So he gets the same fucking natural status as white people because he looks white despite being old. But like I said, he's an awesome guy. I really enjoy and I learned a lot from him. I understand everything. When he taught me, everything made sense because my brain thinks more like these people. Maybe I have some emotional problems, but maybe I was supposed to be a natural if I wasn't mentally abused so much. But I teach a game that's the real natural. This is not the PUA naturals because the PUA naturals only does direct flirting and compliments. These guys don't always go direct. They don't always give compliments, but they have all these pieces. And lastly, it goes to social skills, but they never got social skills because a lot of them are zombies. You get it? So it's two strategies, two S, right here and right here. Mike Tyson is right here. And Mayweather Jr. is right over here. And you're like, oh shit, now it makes sense. Now it makes sense. Like I said, I just want to make sure the reason why I'm on here, even though I don't feel good, is I want to make sure there's no confusion. The half teaches only the game and not the other. Correct. So a lot of times when you see a tall dating coach, whether it's Crapers McKing and all these other people, they're always talking about how their vibing is. Vibe's important. They're always talking about vibe. They're always talking about game and vibe. Game, vibe, game, vibe. Vibing. They're vibing their SMV because they're way over the fucking line. So if you're tall, white, black, and Latino, I'm not Latino, but Middle Eastern, game is already easy. You can even see with my students, a lot of bald students are getting women way above their look scale. The last video I posted, you're like, why are there so many bald students getting results? You cannot shoot the fucking messenger because I'm telling you guys the truth. There's even more bald students I have not posted that are still getting good results. So therefore, that's called the truth, not the half truth. That may not sound like what the industry will talk about because they'll tell you that if you lose your hair, it's game over. Your receding hairline, the Norwooding or some bullshit like that. In reality, that has nothing to do with the truth. It's unscientific. When you look at the scientific results of my students, it seems like even for the 52-year-old man, he's bald. He's not like a PUA or anything. Like he does it once in a while, but he's not like a lifetime PUA. He's not like a, but for him, being bald did not stop him from getting results in Kaizen twice. He took the course twice and he's got results twice. What the fuck? How is this possible? And his friend who's 40 years old still got results. Somehow, without flirting, the body language did the flirting. It is so scientific. Now you're starting to realize. So let's see. Yeah, so basically, I think I covered a lot of what I want to talk about. But let's look at some of the people's results. There's a lot of naturals. I want to go through all of them that I know. I want to go through all of them because I'd rather it not be misinformation because when I look at my student results, why can I not talk about them? Because they may show a different narrative than what the industry wants you to believe. So the very first student that I want to talk about on my website was the very first Kaizen student. The very first Kaizen student, and there's no way you can dismiss it. You can disagree with me all you want, But you can't disagree with Johnny Elite's student results. So during Kaizen, there was a German guy who was 6'6". So I'm telling you, it's not about looks, it's not about hair. It's all about height and race and a little bit of body language and social skills. That's really all it is for game. So it's all about value. So what happens when you work on social skills and social calibrations they don't use? You're giving yourself 2.5, 2.5. There's 5 extra points. In the naturals, because they have all 3 of them, they don't use as much game. And that's the big secret. Most naturals do not have as much game. Their tactics are all different. Among all the naturals I know, every single one of them has different tactics. But guess what? These 3 things over here, they never change right here. See that? Those 3. They never fucking change. Ever. All the naturals have all 3. They're born to have all 3. I don't know how they're able to do it, but because they're connecting to the universe, they're all narcissistic. Most of the naturals are very narcissistic people. You think because they're narcissistic, they cannot connect with women. But in reality, what's happening is that for the 5 mindsets, thoughts and feelings, manifestation, they're actually connecting because of the body language from the Elite 30. And it beams up there to the universe. You may not believe in God and all this spiritual shit. You might watch a lot of Nietzsche and a lot of this Darwin or Dawkins and shit. But however, for the naturals, they beam up there and they beam into her brain. And then they can see what she's feeling because they're psychic. They're psychic. Have a little bit of that ability. So what happens is they may not be able to consciously connect with the women, but they can beam up there and into her brain and it goes back into their brain. And one of the short 5'4" Pakistani guys, what he told me was, John, I see a piece of paper show up right in front of me. So let's say, for example, here's a book and a bunch of paper, okay? He says it's almost like a book or paper shows up, and it just keeps flipping in front of him what to say. You're like, what the fuck? So me and my old roommate, we just kept testing. What if the woman says this? What do you say? It comes to him. He says it's right in front of his face. And then I said, what's the next thing, right? And then it's like, something like, and then he just comes up with something else. And it's like, what are you going to say here in this situation? Something else comes. He said, where do you get this from? I don't know. Is it from above, maybe? They're born like that. Not everyone sees exactly the same thing, but that's a very psychic thing. That is what they called, it's like a visual side. What's it called? I forgot the exact name. But clairvoyance. You can see things. They're very clairvoyant. Some of them are all-knowing. So a lot of these lines that flow up the naturals, if you have the right body language, for example, it's not that they're expressive. It's more like they're flirting. So their faces are like this. Their body is sticking out like this, right? And whenever they flirt, they come up with a million different lines. It comes out of their body language. So it's really outside in. You get it? The secrets behind the naturals, which they don't want you to know, is everything is outside in. It's not inside out, like RSD says. Because of the perfect body language. Let's say, for example, I'm in a flirty state of mind now. I change the body and the face to be more flirty. Guess what happens to my state of mind? Let's just say this is my mind. Now I feel like my state of mind changes eventually into a flirty. You see that? So if I were writing for copywriting on my website, if I was hunching like this, I will not write confident words. It's not the words that come out of my mouth, but there's no confident words coming out. If I sit up straight or listen to a different music, my state of mind changes. The words change. So if I were listening to John Wick music, for example, my words will change when I write them. So for the naturals, when they're in a flirty state of mind, for example, right? So it's like, oh, by the way, are you Latina? Those hips don't lie. And then she's like, ha, 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 right? Because it was a reference song to Shakira when she says hips don't lie. And you're kind of flirting with her. It's like, oh, okay. For example, if somebody else like, oh, you're Swedish, right? Oh my God, you all really do have blue hair and blonde eyes, right? It's a little bit mesmerizing. At the same time, it's distracting. Is there like water or something in your eyes? It's like, it looks like the ocean or something. It's fucking annoying. But in reality, they can come up with different flirts over and over. Oh, okay. You're wearing yoga pants, right? Does that mean you're a flexible person or something? Don't write down these lines. They come up, they flow from the top. Okay, we should walk this way. We should walk towards your home, or we should walk behind the dumpsters and just bang or something. Not just joking. Hopefully you will not try to rape me. You look like a dangerous person. You're not going to do that to me, right? No, I was joking. Anyways, let's go with this. And you keep coming up with lines and lines like that. They flow from the body language and the state of mind change. You're like, oh my God, John, do not teach people this stuff. Only the inner circle knows this. For your Facebook group, this is not for the public. I know, but I want to talk about this so you guys will get an expanded knowledge from it. So another flirt, you're talking with her, oh, you're Asian, right? I'm not into Asians, but damn, it's like, you guys wear a lot of makeup. Is your skin naturally that bright, or are you always that skinny? Or are you always that thin, right? Maybe I find that a little bit sexy. But I'm not trying to. I'm not into Asians. So even you can come up with many different flirts. For example, you talk to another woman, or she's tall, right? You know what? You know what they say about tall women, right? The taller they are, the harder they fall for Asian men. And then she's laughing. Ha ha ha. You see that? They come up with witty shit on the spot. I could flow all day like a natural. They'll say, I could do this all day. And I could flow even more lines. So it's not about the POA lines. These naturals have no lines. They may use one line back and forth, but they come out with this shit on the spot. Okay? I was walking this direction, and I've noticed when you're walking this way that, you're sweating a little bit. You look like you can definitely use a nice drink. Maybe you and me, we can have a nice drink, and who knows? Maybe we can do something together. We can go swimming. I can buy you a drink, get you a massage, maybe fuck with. Not joking, but I'm just saying, like, it just keeps flowing out of your mind. It's like, oh, okay, so, you're an office worker, right? Those kind of women out there, when they're working in the office, they're entrepreneurs. They're crazy in the bedroom. No, that's joking. It just keeps coming up with shit like that. John, do we need to have a deep voice? My Pakistani mentor's voice is not very deep, but it is loud. You want to have a little bit of more of a loudness in your voice. It doesn't have to be super loud, but if you have lower SMV, it is good to demonstrate more alpha behavior. Some people, when they're taller, they can be soft-spoken because they have more SMV. They have such high SMV. But if you're shorter, I would suggest talking just a little bit louder than usual. And you go as slow as possible when you speak. Because when you speak super fast, it sounds like this, right? You're like, hey, I sound like very nervous sounding, blah, blah, blah. But if you slow it the fuck down, you're demonstrating the behavioral game of the first one. You see that? You guys getting it? Now you guys are getting it. Behavioral game. You're like, holy shit. Holy shit. So I'm going to look at my old post that I wrote today about naturals. I talk about this 52-year-old man and how if you don't work on your body language, you're going to be very creepy because Asians don't have facial expressions. For example, Asians cannot move their face. This is all the Asian dating coaches besides me. The other ones can only move the eyebrows up like this. And they can do a beta smile. Two expressions. 3, a little bit of smile. Number 4, poker face. That's it, 4 expressions. Asians have 1, 2, 3, 4. So therefore, it makes it very hard for them to flirt. But if they have no tonality, no emotions whatsoever, ego-tripping zombies, then how the fuck do I get so many Asians laid during COVID-19? Especially during lockdown 1. A lot of Asians. How the fuck did I do it? It's very simple. At that particular time, social calibration that the naturals use was more than enough. You're like, wow, that's a secret. This body language, and you're wondering why these guys are more like alpha and they're like a tribe leader. It's because this body language is like a tribe leader. So how does the tribe leader behave? He'll talk slowly because he does not expect to be interrupted. So for women today, my German student, even though he got results already, he got a lot of rejections today and he got mentally fucked up. But he's talking fast again. The cortisol makes you talk fast. If you can slow down your speech dramatically, you can almost hook every single set that you open. You're like, really? Try it. Talk as slow and retarded as possible and try to stand like my students. They'll automatically hook. Because even if the women want to walk away, because your social calibrations is so sharp, it doesn't matter. The women will stay and they will not leave. Because for once in their mind, they're like the evolutionary psychology circuits. They're like, oh my God, here's a man of value. How did the old man get laid. How did he do that so quickly? The very first exercise is that he had to stick out his chest and keep his neck still. And that was very, very hard on his body. But he kept sticking out his chest. It looked very confident because it pulls the shoulders back. The exercise is that you put both hands back. I can't teach you everything, but you can almost pop the shoulders back. And eventually the neck will go back. You see that? Like this. But I can't teach you everything. You see, that looks more confident, doesn't it? And now I'm in a more confident state of mind. I flow a lot better. You see that? I feel happier. You see that? So maybe some of the times when I'm not the highest vibrational or vaginal energy is because of the neck thing. It could be something as small as that throwing you off. Hope that makes sense. I recently got 150 stitch scars across my left cheek. Would it affect me in getting women or chicks dig scars? Some of the women who are more like, bird brain types, the more hood rats, gangster types of women, they'll like the scars. They're always into guys that have survival value when they're gangsterish. So you'll be finding more of those kind of women. Some of the nicer women may not be 100% into you, but if your body language is confidence, maybe, I'm not saying you should cover it with tattoos or anything like that, but maybe you should have sleeve tattoos so that way you can distract them from the scars. But it's okay to have a few scars here and there. It does show some survival value. Use a DHV story. Tell her that you got the scars from a fight. You got it from a fight and you were protecting your woman and you beat the shit out of the other guy. And because of self-defense, you did not spend any time in jail. And that's how I got my scars. I'm a little bit self-conscious. I hope you will not judge me by my scars. And she's like, oh, absolutely not. Because you use statements of empathy and you call it the elephant in the room, which is your scars. It will not affect you. Hope that makes sense. So yes, as I'm saying for the new people that just showed up, there are 4 types of flirts here. The first one is the Elite 30 body language. It flirts by itself. It's like a Wi-Fi signal. The longer you keep the body language, the more progressively, as you see over here, right here, it goes up and up and up and up until at the very end for the instant date, it spikes up. And over there, the second one is the flirts. It's like a triangle. Every time you do a direct flirt, it's like spike, 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 right? Spike, spike. The third one is the indirect questions. You can ask her, what do you do to keep in shape, yoga? Are you a flexible person? You can lead the questions to make her think about sexual things. You can use those indirect questions to flirt. You can use it to tease. That's a newer style game, more advanced, that I have not taught the public yet. So I can't talk about it in more detail. My students can barely even do the flow drill with 3 steps. The last one is that sometimes you can vibe in emotion, expression, that she doesn't know what the fuck you're vibing. Some people, they might be laughing in a very, indirect way. They may be like, but it makes her feel special and she's giggling too. And he's indirectly flirting like that. He might be indirectly flirting and she's feeling a little bit special. So I used to have a wingman who claims he's not a natural, but he's a tall, good-looking Asian guy. Good body language, good vibe, very chilled. It escalates like crazy because he can barely speak English. His only vocabulary is just PUA terms. He can speak to me perfectly in PUA language, but he can barely speak English properly. But man, he bangs so many women, Latinas and white girls. And he teaches dancing or in Toronto. I won't say what style of dance, but Latina style of dance. That was my old wingman. I told him to go check out Toronto for me. You're like a pro. I'm going to send you to Toronto and tell me how it's like. And he never came back. He never came back. So he's like, fuck Vancouver. But I digress. So that's what you're missing. In all the naturals, they have social skills, social calibrations, emotional control, and game. And what I'm saying is that they have 2 different styles. They can go for social skills, social calibrations, emotional control, and game. Or they can start with game and vibing their LMS, what game is. And that's enough for them to get laid. But however, they ignore social calibrations and social skills because they're zombies. So there's 2 styles. This is the Mike Tyson style. This is the Mayweather style. I would suggest that everyone should use the Mayweather style during COVID-19. That's what gets women more attracted because you fit into her tribe. like a tribe leader with your body language. And social skills does not bring as much fear. And of course, it could be different. You might be in a third world country where your foreigner status may play a huge fucking role in your compliance, especially when women do not have any more money. That's one way that could help you during COVID-19. But in most cases, for my students, this year, they have been using less game. You're like, what the fuck? Less game. After COVID-19 is over next year, when the economy is back, everyone's vaccinated, they can use game again. But for right now, during COVID-19, if you try to be game motherfucker, I guarantee you, it will not lead to testimonials. It will not. Think about how many testimonials do other dating coaches have for their old product. Look at every single product out there. All the coaches. Only my one worked before COVID and during all 3 lockdowns. Why? Because Elite 30 is not even about game. It is about this. Sharpening the saw. And every single time a natural works on his social skills, he's sharpening the sword. And when the sword is sharpened, then it's easier. When you finally do approach, you're going to cut through everything. And it makes it easier. I'm just speaking the truth, guys. And you're like, okay, John, you have made a good point. You made a good case about this stuff. But why should we believe what you have to say? Well, no problem. We'll look over all the student results that follow the same formula. Not all of them excessively flirt. I have many, many naturals, for example, that have taught me over the years. Can you believe even John and Lee's been taught by tall white people that are good looking? You're like, no fucking way. John doesn't like white people. No, it's not true. I have a lot of white students, and I get along with the naturals very well. So I can show you some of the pictures of the inner circle members, but I can only show you one here. So I'll tell you a story. Although he's emotionally kind of fucked, he's kicked out of the inner circle. One of the members, you know who you are. Yeah. Hold on a second. I was getting itchy. I don't know why, but okay. It's so hot recently, you know? It's like yesterday at one part of BC, it was 111 degrees. It's a world record for the BC. Not like all of it. Around here is like 40 or 50 degrees. That's what it feels like. But right now I'm really sweating. So it's hard to think. But let's take a look at some of the evidence where social skills or social calibrations matter, which is learned from the naturals. So there was a natural guy over here. So one guy during Halloween, right? I was dressed as Neo. See that? That's me. And that's him. Good body language. And over there, he banged a woman. And this was him and his brother. I was training his brother for the inner circle. His brother is on the other side. And the other guy's on, this is the guy over here. He's German. You're like, what the fuck? So John actually trains white people and gets trained by white people too? Sorry to tell you, motherfucker, the inner circle is huge. There's many white members. There's every race in the inner circle. And I was training his brother. I was taking the Zara. See that? So he's learning how about fashion and stuff. Good looking guy, right? This guy's like 6'3" or something. You're like, what the fuck? Like I said, I don't care what race they are. If they have good social skills and they are white and they're part of the inner circle, they're superior. They'll kill you all. My Pakistani mentor thinks that, oh, that guy is better than me at Daygame. There's one of these guys who are like 10 out of 10 in looks. This guy's only like 9, these guys. You're like, what? There's even better looking white guys? Yeah, they even look better than male models in the inner circle. This is not even like that high. But they're extremely good looking. Extremely good looking. They'll completely conquer Europe. But yeah, here's a picture of one of them. I was training him. Look how tall he is. That's Metro Town, Burnaby Metro Town. So this is just an example of some of the naturals. So, but the technology is, a lot of them do not use any sort of gaming tactics. They don't even like POA shit. They think you're all like zombies. Originally, the inner circle does not like the industry. They want me to take it down, infiltrate and take it down. And they taught me. So let's talk about one of the student results. The first guy I'm going to talk about recently in lockdown 3 is that he used the technology of just social calibrations and social skills. How do you get in the inner circle? Most of the time, you have to be invited. I got their attention because I'm a dating coach. even back in 2012. Like, how long have you been a dating coach, John? 2012 was when I started teaching a game locally to Vancouver. I was bad-mouthing lifestyle and bad-mouthing that kind of game. It caught the attention of these people. And they said, we're going to recruit you. We're going to train you. You don't understand everything. It's not just day game. We can do day game. That's when I met my Pakistani mentor. The first time I met my Pakistani mentor, it was in the Metro Town Mall. And I see this guy who looks almost like Indian-like, but Pakistani. You know, dark skin, looks chubby as hell, but not chubby, but he's very bulky body, V-shaped body. And he's telling me, and he's very quiet sounding, about how good he is at game. And he's teaching me about lifestyle and how you are so wrong, John. He didn't call me John before. So he calls me John. He's like, okay, whatever. Your name is John now. That's great. But he taught gaming elite. So when you see a lot of the game that doesn't make any sense to you, it's from inner circle. So he starts telling me about scent, how that after you get laid, you know, more, you will have a scent or pheromone that comes out. And he believes that's what's helping him. And your jawline changes. He taught me all these weird shit. He taught me about the fashion, like even though my fashion was pretty good, he says there's optimizations. Brown is the new black for shoes. I was like, what? He starts teaching me all these secret stuff, how cologne, because evolutionary psychology, the smell, the scent is the most important. But there's only certain colognes that work. Although I went back to the mansion in the future, you know, train every 5 years, he retrain. He was telling me about this certain cologne. It's like, John, if you don't want to wear it, I'll take it from you. He bought 2 of them. The other one smells like better, but then it works so well. He got a same day fucking blowjob in front of me, and he stole the women afterwards while I was about to bring them home later. It's not the first time I get screwed over like that from POIs, but it's not the last. So I kind of expected that. He was so good. That was, you know, when I'm in the mansion again. He starts like, it's almost like he knew exactly, like a psychic, what the woman was going to say. He finished her sentences, and he was able to knock her before she could even finish the sentence. He knew exactly he could finish her sentences and almost control the women. And he does not stay long. He just does a quick interaction for like 30 seconds. All his text game is very sexual, and he gets all the women begging to meet him coming out. And I was like, what the fuck is this shit? It's not 10%, guys. It's almost like 95% of the women will come out on the text. This is social skills. This is extreme, like, he did the body language stuff. He didn't want to stay there because the hotter women, he didn't want to, like, it doesn't work. If you keep flirting and stuff in Vancouver, and the other guy that I knew before in Europe that had 1,500 lay counts, he only got 2 lays in Vancouver. So what happens if the Pakistani mentor and him switches places? Holy fuck, man. My Pakistani mentor was going to go to Europe. He could do a lot of damage in Europe. He can literally fucking clean up the whole fucking country, no matter where he goes. He was originally planning to go, I won't say which country, but if he went there, holy fuck, you fuck all the women like crazy. Like, I'm just getting itchy. I don't know what's going on. Let's see. Is Lake on an inner circle? He talks about his underground group, and no, he's not part of our inner circle. And a lot of people that are PUAs and stuff, they're not invited. One time, my student, the Middle Eastern guy, the bald guy who's 6'2", he said that one guy asked him, a tall white guy in Victoria. I'm not gonna say who it is. I know who you are. And he says, who do you study for a pickup artist? And that's what he asked him, to that tall Middle Eastern guy. And he says, John Elite. And they're like, oh shit, you're John Elite student. And they start inviting him. You want to come to our boat trips, lifestyle and stuff like that? We're having like this big boat or something, and we have all these women and stuff in there. He accidentally infiltrated one of our sect in Victoria, among other places all over BC. We are like ninjas. We are not noticeable. But yeah, they're everywhere, man. These naturals, they're everywhere. One of the students finally accidentally found one of the members. One of the guys who's 10 out of 10 looks. A tall white guy. I think he's the guy who's into Asian girls too, to boost his lay count. I think that's who he is in the Victoria. I've not met all the members. I only met half. It's a big group, but it's very top secret. It's like a League of Shadows or something. And we share a lot of technology with each other. We don't let the outside know. So whatever I'm teaching that just works like crazy, you see one testimonial after another. See, it's not about learning from one natural. It's about learning from many naturals, real naturals. There's even a 5'4" Pakistani guy. He's not rich, but he's still pretty good. So let's talk about him first. He's the guy who taught me about this indirect flirt. He is 5'4", but he always wears heel lifts. Despite what my other students said, I want to do without heel lifts. You're not here for positive reactions. For him, he's able, he's always like perfect body language. He has a social stealth. What he taught me was before he has a lot of cortisol. He was a very good looking guy. So I knew him because of my old roommate. For some reason, he speaks Hindi. I'm not sure if Pakistanis could speak Hindi or something, or it's just Indians. But they speak the same language to each other. I was like, what the fuck? I thought Pakistani language was different. But I digress. He has a lot of cortisol, and sometimes he's afraid to approach because he got all fat due to Cushing syndrome. Got chubby. But whenever he took drugs or something, he was able to approach. He didn't give a shit about the women. He had to close no matter what that day. And he was good with social stealth. He did not care what the woman thinks. That's what he taught me. And second thing is that the indirect flirt, he taught me that. I gave him $150 to say, teach me everything you know. He's like, I can do it for free. And I was like, no. I want to be consulted by you for your precious time. So he met us at the apartment, and I gave him $150. He wrote everything on the whiteboard. I have the entire conversation recorded. He taught me about how, what's the fastest way of closing a bedroom without alcohol. He taught me where to kiss the women on the side of the obliques because they've never been kissed there before. He talks about how you should not wrestle with her and stuff like that. You should keep I can't talk about anymore. He has a special method of pressure and release. And when I taught that to the students, that's why they don't use alcohol as much. They don't. And they're able to get that results. But he taught me the indirect flirt. Very powerful shit. And he always played mind games with himself. He always was taking pictures of himself. Even if he's 5'4", he's like, I'm so good looking, right? He'd give it to my old roommate. Can you take a picture of me because I'm so good looking? He's playing tricks with himself that all women would like him because he's good looking. And before, that's the thing about the naturals. I can tell you, most of the naturals that I know, my Pakistani mentor was pretty good looking before he got chubby. A lot of naturals, even if they get older, they were all once used to be super handsome. This guy is a pretty boy type. He's very good looking. He's actually on my WhatsApp. I'm not sure if I can show his picture. He wouldn't want it out there anyways. Hope that makes sense. But that's what he taught me. It's different than the tactics of the Pakistani mentor. They both have different body types. So for all the naturals over here, every naturals game is different. You see that? Because they all have different race and body types. But all three of this is exactly the same. Get it? Same social skills, social calibrations, same emotional control, and different game. And this is what he said to me, John. You're very good at game. This is his critique. You're very good at game. In fact, you're probably 10 times better than me at game. And he said game is just a small category. That's why I always say 25%. Game is just a small category. You've been focusing on just this. So what he told me, best PUA coach is called John Elite. And I have 478 LAPO testimonials, and nobody can compare. So you can say they're the best coach, how to holler, but how many fucking Daygame testimonials do they have? Like, just stupid sticking points. I learned about my sticking points, about my weakness. Fuck how to holler. Fuck these motherfuckers. They're nobodies. They're nobodies to me. Nobody compares to me. In fact, I'm going to post all my fucking late testimonials, but do a teaser trailer. I won't show all the details of it, so I don't spoil it, but I can explain what they are. And I'm going to put another fucking 12 late testimonials into the fucking thing, maybe within tomorrow or after tomorrow. And then afterwards, I'll put 50 more fucking screenshot testimonials. Kevin L. I don't give a shit about these people. I really don't. Get the fuck off my channel. These people are nothing. You might as well say like Alpha Man Strategies is the best dating coach or some other fucking irrelevant nonsense. How many fucking testimonials do they have? How many fucking late testimonials? Let's take a look, because you're full of shit. How to holler. These guys don't have a single. Oh, I know who these guys are. One of these guys want to learn from me. I told him to fuck off. So how to holler? I remember this guy. His name's Kevin. No, fuck this. I'm gonna delete this shit. Kevin wanted to learn from me. I just gotta get you off my channel. He wanted to learn from me. And the problem is that he was such a scumbag. So I just sort of didn't want to teach him. I said, you're not a good fit. You had all these theories and shit. But there's no proof. Sometimes in so-called same-day late infields, the women fucking changes clothing. Something suspicious happening here in his infields. And nothing happens. No proof. Very bad game. I already analyzed it. Is your value chart updated? It's exactly the same as before. It doesn't change, except Middle Easterns are moving up in the world. It's still the same fucking height thing. It's still the same everything. It's still the same social skill, social calibrations. It doesn't change. This is universal among all the naturals. Hope that makes sense. So I talk about the 5'4" Pakistani guy. But yeah, I mean, fuck this other guy. Like, seriously, that guy is like just a scumbag, man. I think. Yeah, it's the same fucking infield all the time, man. He just goes after Asian women mostly, I think. That's not really that much game. So I'm not impressed. He does like, and for him, I'm not going to tell any secrets behind that other guy, that Asian guy you're talking about. I'm not going to tell any secrets, but he's not that good. That's all I can say. Lots of people come to me for coaching. I told him I don't teach other people that try to coach other people. So you wouldn't believe how many coaches actually ask me to train them. Even right now, another coach is not making as much money, a black guy. He can't wait to be trained by me. He says Elite 30 is too cheap, even at this price, at 200. You can't charge it this low. You're giving information that is so powerful. So I have a lot of black students right now, recently, within like the last yesterday. I think I had like maybe 3 black students or something. I'm not sure what's going on, but they're tired of these other coaches. They're tired of all these coaches. So, all right, let's continue. I digress. So let's talk about the different members of the inner circle. So you learn about Pakistani mentor, how I met him. He was the guy training gaming elite. That's why my game was so weird. Most people didn't understand it and got tainted a little bit later. But he did not train John Wayne. He did not train John Elite. I mean, he trained John Elite, but not John Wayne. At that time, I told him to fuck off. You know? I told him to fuck off. And I had to fight with him. So I didn't see him for many years. And then later on, I had to beg him for forgiveness. And can you retrain me? You know, it's like, this is not, I'm kind of fucked up right now. This is not like, this is like zombie shit. So that's why he came back to the mansion. He says, when I humble myself, he says, you know what? I'm going to give you one chance today. I know you're really retarded when it comes to directions. You can barely even like walk in the right direction. Your brain does not work that way. If you can get yourself to this particular city in BC, I have a mansion. I want you to see how the women are like. And I want you to learn from it. I want to update your game. You're going to learn from this habitat. Treat me like an animal. You study me. You only got one time today. You better get over here right now. So I put all of that stuff aside. I eat a lot of junk food. My old roommate was very pissed off, so he threw away the whole table because I put chips and stuff there. And I had to tell him, hey, the Pakistani mentor told me like it's retraining him. He's like, is this guy real? Eventually, you know, is this guy real? I was like, yeah, he's real. Holy shit. And it's like, yeah, the inner circle, because I apologized to him, allows me to come back. I repent everything. You're right about everything. You're right. You're right. You said everything that's going to happen was going to happen. Everything. So when I went back to the mansion there, you can see the mansion in some of the old YouTube live videos. Nice place. Nice place. And that's where my training began again. So lots of new updated concepts for COVID-19. That really, really helped during COVID-19. A lot of the things I've learned there. So it gets updated. So maybe in the next 5 years or something, I get to come back. It's only every 5 years you get an invite. But luckily for him, he helped the old man pick out his furniture. So I can still consult with him. And he, you know, so that's what happened. We saw the testimonial. The furniture helped. He was very creepy before. So that's how he got like sex. Looking like a football player helps a lot. He is very bulky, I can say, from my Pakistani mentor. His body has a V shape, like a big lats. I've noticed among all the people, it's not more muscles. You need the lat muscles here. If your arm folds up like this, right over the lats, and it looks like kind of bulky like that, it's not because you want to be bulky like a Ninja Turtle. Working out more when you're 5'7" is gonna make you look bulky. Right now, I'm 171 pounds. I got a little bit bulkier. It looks fucking stupid. You want to have a V-shaped body. I still got a little bit of belly over here. But however, I'm a little bit bigger than before. I was not working out. It's just like trying to reduce the cortisol in the system, as a field test. It makes your muscles bigger. So it is ballooning up. I have not worked out for like almost a month and a half. I got lazy. But I got a little bit bigger and skinnier because, reducing cortisol. Because my students always taking ashwagandha. I was like, I don't give it a try. Sometimes I'm always in the fight or flight mode. So having said that, it helped a lot. Still got a little bit of man boobs, but it's reducing a little bit. So a little bit here and there. So having said that, I digress. That is just one of the persons. Another person who is in the inner circle, for example, there was a guy from California. He came over here and says, no pictures. Don't take any pictures of me. And my Pakistani mentor told me 10 years ago, he came to Vancouver, and my Pakistani mentor told me back then, when he knew me for many years, even before I was a dating coach, 6'2" is the perfect height. It is the perfect height by far, 6'2". The students that get crazy results is 6'2". So what was I saying? Oh yeah, the guy from California. He's 5'9". It's like, oh, another fucking 5'9" guy. There's only one natural that is short. All the naturals are tall. They all used to be good looking. That's the secret. All of them. At one point. But this guy was 5'9", except that he turned 40 something years old. So he told me, John, I used to be skinnier. See this picture? When you get older, like me, this is what he told me. You are going to find that you're going to get chubbier. It's harder to lose weight. The second thing he told me was that you get less energy when you get a little bit older. So 5'9" is not tall, but it is the national average. If you're above it, my students all gets like, it's a downhill battle. If you're 5'7", you wear elevator shoes, all of the women will look at you. That's what I've noticed. I didn't get that kind of compliance before. It's like an uphill battle. But when I wear elevator shoes, it's like a downhill battle. And you realize how much game do these other people really have? They probably have no fucking game. That's why they're SMVing it. That's why they like to use vibe. They vibe and they flirt directly to vibe their game, which is their LMS. So having said that, this guy is 5'9" from California. I heard about him. He banged a woman behind a dumpster in Vancouver. Within like the first day he was here, his vibe was that good. The women opened him. It's like, what the fuck? But a decade has passed. He is still living in like 10 years in the past. Whenever he talks to the women, he's annoying as shit. I fucking hate this guy. He's always talking about the past when he was here 10 years ago. My Pakistani mentor has evolved in 10 years. And that's the funny thing. He's always gaming on the beach. We have this place called Wreck Beach, which is a nude beach. He's gaming there, women. And how many women did he bring all the way back to the Pakistani mansion, the secret mansion? 0 during his time. My Pakistani mentor is that good because the distance is really, really like hard to get to. Really hard to get to the mansion. It is not in the middle of the city or something. It's very, very far, remote. For me, I found it very hard to bring the women all the way there. It really is difficult. So how good is my Pakistani mentor? And this is Vancouver. Vancouver is one of the hardest places. One of the naturals in Europe says Vancouver, only 2 lays. And he says, fuck Vancouver. Yeah, fuck Vancouver. That's what he says. Like, I won't come back. And that flirting style, that excessive flirting, will not work in Vancouver. He will be crucified here. He'll be arrested if he flirts with every woman like that. The whole Vancouver, all the women will come after him. So that's why I don't think his style is suitable for here. It's more suitable for certain parts of Europe. For all those lays. At least that's what I think. I've never seen him pull. But regardless, I still think he's pretty good. But I've seen better naturals, man. Holy fuck. So what's it with this 5'9" chubby fuck who's annoying as shit? For him, he's like he taught me a lot of things. for him, I have this book over here. I wrote down all the stuff from that inner circle. Let's see if I can find it. Right over here. So I have a book from the tips from all the players and stuff. He says, if you make money out of this, send some my way. So I have a book for all the players and naturals and shit. And I wrote down a lot of the tips there. Right here. A lot of secret technologies that I cannot talk about in public. Like, there's so much of this stuff. And they taught me so much. He says, this is what he told me. He told me, as a natural, women will always find that one thing that they'll disqualify you with, whatever it is, whether it's body fat, whether it's your Instagram, whether it's something. And even if you try to tell her your location, well, I mean, like, what's your ethnicity when she's emotionally investing? Or what's your whatever, or what's your race? She's always going to find one thing to disqualify you because they can't fuck every guy. And that's what he taught me. And whenever he flirts with the women, he's always throwing out emotions. He's always like talking like this, right? And just vibing so much emotions. He's talking like that. And he's just talking like a normal conversation. The reason why he's doing that is because it's exactly like this. He's spiking it. He's just splattering. The emotions turn into sexual arousal because of how these naturals do it. Whatever emotions they throw at her nervous system, the woman does not understand what feelings they're feeling. So they get confused. And eventually it turns into sexual arousal. You get it? That's very smart. That means they're not always directly flirting for these naturals. They're not. It's not a real sword. It's not a real sword. It's just it's just a decoration. But I thought it was a good example for social skills, because whenever you're a natural and you talk to everyone with a good body language, what they're doing is they're sharpening the saw. When they sharpen the saw, they can cut when they finally do Daygame. But they talk to guys and they talk to women. They're sharpening the saw. And whenever they have good body language and they're like a tribe leader, they're sharpening their saw. So they're actually doing Elite 30 in the social skills flow drill. My Pakistani mentor brings women over to the mansion, they're friends, and then fuck buddies, and then he starts gaming afterward to build comfort, social skills. It all works together. I should not be teaching you these guys. It is true. They do play on easier mode. I'm telling you, that's one of the members. The other member that you saw in this thing he had more of an emotional problem. The other guy you saw during the Halloween thing, he got kicked out of the inner circle. And he's one of my mentors. He's taught me a lot about mindsets and how to willingness to walk away. I should not be teaching all these lessons, but they do not really like pickup artists. They think you're all zombies. They don't understand any of this PUA shit. They couldn't even believe I teach this for a living. They're like, you can get a job like this? It's like, yeah, motherfucker. You can get a job like this. They're like, whoa, shit. So, one second. But this is him. I was showing this earlier. Oh, fuck, there's so many testimonials. I just scrolled. That was him. 5'11.5", German guy. This Halloween, I was like Neo. I was wearing boots, so I was taller. And they're very good-looking people. That's his brother. I was training his brother. They're white people in the inner circle. So I was teaching him fashion. His brother. But he taught me other things too. We used to Daygame in Metrotown and downtown a lot. Yeah, I'm teaching his brother. Look how tall he is, 6'3". So there's a lot of white people in the inner circle. So for this 5'9" white guy, what was his special abilities? He didn't get the highest lay count, but however, the women that he showed me that he banged, and my Pakistani mentor can confirm it, the women's bodies are all 10 out of 10. They look like Instagram models. And fitness, give a thumbs up if you guys are learning something. And today is brought to you by Elite 30 from Hard Case to Hero, the only course that works before COVID, during COVID, and after COVID. And even before pickup started, and naturals have been using the same shit ever since the beginning of time. Ever since the beginning of time. And naturals, you can use it after COVID-19. You can use it for the rest of your life. It will never change. I never have to update Elite 30 from Hard Case to Hero. I'm 6 feet and I'm a virgin. Sorry to hear that, dude. Sorry to hear that. So That's the guy. The women's face is like 7.9 out of 10. That means a little bit butter face. They're not like the hottest face, but the women's bodies are completely amazing. Although he's annoying, he likes his sauce, his fucking vibe. He is friends with Steve Wozniak. He's friends with Silicon Valley. He's friends with a lot of celebrities in California. That means his social skills can penetrate all these tribes, even with his fucking annoying behavior. So that's one of the members. The other member was a tall white guy. He's so confident. He was stretched in front of women. He has no fear. Whenever he sees a woman, he'll approach them, and he expects to close. And he does very brave stuff as if he has no limit. But he is white and good looking, so that doesn't really count. The other guy, who's also tall and white and good looking and a little bit taller, 6'3", he goes for Asian women too, so that doesn't really count. He's not as emotionally like nice or anything. You know, he's a little bit, he knows he's full of shit because Asian women does not count. But he still does it anyways. Then you got other members, like this guy over here, he's fucked up. He's like, he's been mentally abused so much by his parents. He barely finds a fucking job. He barely can even take care of himself. And he has a son. Because I'm telling you, if you fuck without a condom, women get pregnant. You have good genetics like that guy. She doesn't want to abort the baby. So now he's stuck as a fucking father, and he has to pay child support and raise his kid. And his wife was a Latina. Or not his wife, but a former girlfriend. And she was a crazy fucking psycho. Half Latina, half black or something. He does not care about the race of women as long as she has big hips. He likes them a little bit thick. Not my kind of thing, but he likes them thick. Like the way AMS likes it. Only 2 thumbs up. Okay, whatever. So another inner circle member, there's just so many. There was a 5'7" Chinese guy who's 300 pounds. He's even uglier than the German student. The German student's like 2 out of 10 in looks. However, this guy's like 1 out of 10. He's 300 pounds. His eyes are crooked. His hair is like a comb over, but somehow he has like 10 women he can bring to the club, all white women. Chill vibe. And when he saw my Pakistani mentor do it, he's like, if you can do it, I can do it. So he's more of a night gamer. But he was able to bring all these women to the club. He uses us as pre-selection. He gets laid so many times, even if he's ugly. You see, some of the members of the inner circle are ugly as fuck. Some of them are really good looking. So, but it doesn't matter. It's not about the looks. I'm telling you, it's height, perceived race. It's not the face. It's not the hair. It's so unscientific. It's body language. They all have good body language, and they have the best social skills of all they're better than the dating coaches. All the dating coaches are like zombies. They're just fucking like, they don't understand social skills. They have socio skills, zombie skills. Brain, spam approaching, SMV, autistic lines and shit. It's not about the lines. Every natural, perfect body language, perfect social skills in different styles of flirting. All 4 styles. That's the truth. Because I met so many of these people. And I strongly, from what I'm saying, this is all true. And when you look at my student results, and it's on the same page. This guy, that 6'2" Middle Eastern guy, that's his girlfriend, a model. I cover a little more of her face just in case, but his ex-girlfriend's a model. And he's not super good looking, but he's also, his golden ratio is high. It's 82%. Women find him attractive. They're going crazy for him. He's tall, Middle Eastern. He's a nice guy. He didn't do any flirting. Isn't that funny? That's elite 30. He was just doing the first style, social skills in the first one. And what happened with the next one? Eventually, he banged a 19-year-old. And he banged so many women in between. He banged a second model. He bought the elite playbook. And he started to learn how to flirt. That's how he got the 19-year-old when I show you the pictures. That's how he got the 19-year-old. But how did he get the 19-year-old? It's very simple. He finally built the social skills on top of the game, or the game on top of the social skills. Don't you get it? Like Mayweather. Once he has a good defense, he can block everything. Then he can finally counterattack. Does that make sense? He can finally counterattack. And that's how it's done. Now you guys get it. Because since he can counterattack and stuff like that, he's a lot better. That's what happened. Sorry, my nose is getting itchy. I don't know what the fuck is going on here. Maybe it's all this hot weather and stuff, but yeah. Just ignore that. But okay, here's the point. It's so hot in here. I turn off all the fans. I'm melting right now. See, I'm fucking melting. It's probably over like 45 degrees in here, man. Fuck. I cannot fit air conditioning in this room. The windows are different shape. I can't fit an air conditioner. And even if I use the hot air here, it's like a fucking hair dryer. It's all hot. It's fucking crazy here in BC. It is the hottest weather we have ever had in the last few decades. So it's insane. World record heat. And some restaurants in BC are closed because of the heat. They cannot get the equipment working. So what's my golden ratio? Well, you gotta find out from the websites. You gotta put your face in the thing. Most dating coaches out there that say they're ugly, they have extremely high golden ratio, guys. Perceived natural status in height. And they tell you that, oh no, they're ugly or they're like this and that. I don't know. I just look at the student results and I reverse engineer it. I'm telling you guys the truth. So this guy got this kind of results. So for the old man, the 52-year-old man, do you know he dates like a really hot women all the time? I should have posted more pictures. He dates a lot of 20-year-old women. You're like, what the fuck? In Germany. You're like, that doesn't make any sense. Well, Elite 60, I built him in his like funnel, Instagram, his lifestyle. It took a long time. He was resistant. But women are always coming into his funnel. So that was well worth it. For another student, a Middle Eastern student, over here. So the very first thing over here was that you can see here, good thing is all covered, but he's getting a blowjob in this picture. But you can't see it because I censored it. So therefore on YouTube, it's fine because you can't see exactly what's going on. It took him 1 week of Elite 30. He had perfect social skills. He had a social circle. He is taking courses from RSD, and he got no results for 6 years. No lays from the courses. He also took self-proclaimed high lay count guy course. No results. 1 week. Oh, this thing is running out of batteries. It's a fucking hair dryer. 1 week of Elite 30, he sharpened his saw or sharpened his sword. And guess what happened after he sharpened it? In 1 week, he'd been practicing 16 hours a day. In the very first few days, happy, fun, carefree, positive vibe, he cut through everything. Women start coming into him. It's like he's always been too intense as a Middle Eastern guy. He's been intense. Okay? He started cutting and cutting. In 1 week, he got laid. And he sent me that picture. He banged it like a hot blonde. And he sent me the blowjob and the lay. And I'll show his testimonial soon. Maybe that's the next one because he's only 5'7". Before, social skills was not enough. I'm gonna be honest with you. For 5'7", he changed the pants to the brown one my students wear. Guess what happened? Fucking women just throwing themselves on him. It validates all my fucking theories. It's not a theory. They have opinions as facts. I have facts as opinions. Guess what happened after the next week? After 1 week. So. After 1 week, he pulled another woman, but he could not get hard right here. So she's a redhead. She's a redhead. He could not get hard. Second pull when my dick didn't want to work out with me. However, he fingered her for an hour. And then afterwards, he was about to get a model. And you're like, holy shit, really? 5'7", bald. Bald. He's about to get a model. So what happened afterwards was... Let me think. Oh, yeah, I remember. So the third time was this woman was a model in this European country. And she said that her boyfriend is in jail. She says that the boyfriend allows her to fuck any guy to make her happy. All your ugly students that have $1 million? No. A lot of my ugly students are not rich. They just dress rich. It wouldn't hurt to dress like you're rich in the white girl's tribe. Pakistani mentor dresses rich too, but he has real clothing. He has real Prada shoes, real fucking Armani suits. He like Prada glasses, very expensive shit. So for him, he wears like really good shit. He has a good fashion sense, even beyond mine. He told me about the brown pants the second time I went back to the mansion. So what happened was with this student, he was just Snapchatting her because I said, listen, motherfucker, she's lying. She's a sociopath. She's going to make you fuck her and make the boyfriend jealous and try to start trouble. These women basically have a lot of attention and they have no control over their lives. They're sociopaths, narcissists. For them, just a little bit of trolling you is going to give her a little bit of significance. So what happened was when the guy got out of jail, of course, naturally speaking, he brought a whole gang of people to beat him up. He said, well, you've been Snapchatting my girlfriend, whatever, right? Luckily, he didn't fuck her like I told him not to do it. He could have banged a model. It would have been good for the testimonial, but it might have got him killed. So what happened was the whole gang, he beat the shell of one of the guys because he's an aggressive guy. My student's pretty alpha. At 5'7", he can fight. So he beat the shell of the other guy. He blinded one guy in the eye. So the other guy's blind now. I'm sure his other eye still works. Afterwards, a few hours, 2 Middle Eastern guys came after him, and one Somali, a black dude. And he fucking stabbed this guy in the chest 3 times with 3 knives. Boom, boom, boom. He didn't see it. He just thought they were just flicking him like this. But they stabbed him in the chest 3 times. So what happened was he later looked at his shirt. There's 3 holes in it, but it didn't go through his body. But it's not the first time my students got stabbed. There's other ones that got stabbed because people get jealous. There's psychos. People who are violent, type 2 psychopathy. Whenever they're violent, I'm not a violent person. You know, I'm not a type 2 psychopath. So having said that, just type 2 sociopaths, they're violent. When they cross over that line to violence, they're already criminals and they're violent and dangerous people. So basically, they stabbed him 3 times in the fucking chest. So eventually, he moved to Turkey. So right now, he's in Istanbul, Turkey, because his family lives there. And it's good that he's keeping away from all these people because he can get into a lot of trouble with the gangs there. So that's where he's right now. He's not approaching as much, but he's still practicing Elite 30. Okay. The second student, the case study, was the London student. For him, as you can see, right, after all these fucking lays. Don't worry, for YouTube, this does not actually show like the actual lay pics. His girlfriend's a model, really hot. He fivesome, all this shit, right? He eventually banged like a. 1 second. He eventually banged, another model and the sister, and they fucked both of them. And one of them became his girlfriend. But however, at first, before he got his first same day lay with a Brazilian, he was spam approaching like a zombie, and he was burning himself out. So he was working on the body language, but that's when you realize during lockdown 2, this is when things change. Lockdown 1, Elite 30 was great, but you have to use the module 3 for the body language in module 5, which is social skills combined in Elite 30. Afterwards, he did that. He came to me for training. I have all his audio infields. You know that? When he got all his 10 fuck buddies. So that's definite proof. He didn't learn any more gaming tactics. Because he did not have the Elite playbook yet. You're like, what the fuck? He only got Elite 30. So afterwards, he Skyped with me, and I have the best analysis in the world. Most people cannot see the whole value system. Their analysis is what they call false positives or half-truths. They won't tell themselves where the value really comes from. However, in my analysis, if a student, after 1 Skype, he already got laid because he worked on the social skills flow drill. He mixed that with the Elite 30. After the first Skype, he made me a promise. John, if I get laid, I'm still going to train under you for a second Skype. Second Skype, another 4 fuck buddies, and a 5-some afterwards. It's already 9, or at least like 8 or something, 8 fucking women. And it's like, okay, I got the second Skype. I'm going to take 1 more Skype, John. I was like, you need it, trust me. I have more to teach you. And the third Skype, that's when he got 2 models, and 1 became his girlfriend. He fucked the sister, too. But however, what did he learn? Was he learning game tactics? No. It's only until the third or something, or second Skype that he bought the playbook. But he didn't use the playbook. He only learned the social skills flow drill. Ugly dudes don't slay in America. That's not true at all. I have tons of students that counteract your points. I have tons of students that counter. I'm going to make a video about all the ugly students that gets fucking crazy results. So that's what happened. Social skills plus body language led to all these lay testimonials. And that's what the naturals do. All the naturals do this. They all have perfect social skills. They all have perfect body language. What the fuck? If they got laid over one Skype, wouldn't they want to do more? Yeah. There's a lot of students that get laid after one Skype. You don't need goddamn 6 months of online training. I'm the only coach out there, or very few in the whole world, that can get students laid so easily, even online. That's how transferable my game is. Because it's not game. It's all this other stuff. You look at every program I have, Kaizen, so many lay testimonials. You look at, and even repeat it again, the old man. You look at 3 months of proficiency. It's almost every student that got laid except for one. It's always that one motherfucker. Text game for minority. All students got laid except for one. It's always that cortisol guy, full of cortisol, that fucks it up. In the future, I may not let students that have too much cortisol to join my training, because they're always, even in the boot camps, the 3 students, you know, when I taught by myself under John Wayne, that did not get results. They have too much cortisol. They immobilized when they talk to women. In the future, I'm not going to let excessive cortisol students train under me, because they can't learn shit. They have to battle the nervous system. Okay? But however, every program has student results. Elite Access, this, that. Elite 30, Elite Playbook. Both of them still works during COVID-19. So that's all they learned. They just learned social skills and social calibrations. This is 5 out of 10 already, guys. Extra points. The naturals have it. This is just basically the real game of the real naturals, basically. That's what I'm teaching. And you're thinking, what the fuck? There was another black guy here that bought my course, Elite 30. I hope he doesn't mind me showing his picture, because he's a tall black guy who's very, very good looking. I'm going to cover his name so you cannot see it. I want to show you a guy in Europe, because he didn't know how to control, because he's a natural. All these things I taught him, and I talked to him on Skype, he's like, that's exactly what I do. He's like the black version of me. He's like, of course, he's 6'2". Let's not beat around the bush here. I did call him out saying that you are tall, and that helps you to some degree. His brother was even better than him. Of course, being tall and black in Europe is super fucking easy. All his women were like 9s or 10s, even above some other students. And he says, John, when you made Elite 30, you sold the course for too cheap, because this is exactly what I do, and I appreciate this kind of stuff, because no one will understand what you're teaching the world. You're teaching the world something amazing, and you're charging so little, only less for it. I will show you what the student looks like, but you won't find out his identity. You won't. This black guy, and when you see it, you'll start to understand. Your students also have massive dating apps. I don't teach like Tinder and shit. I don't teach Tinder. This is him. You're like, holy shit. The guy with the same hairstyle as my students, I updated his fashion too. I told him tips. Whitewashed. He's wearing a blazer. You're like, what the fuck? 6'3", good looking guy. Black, tall. Every line I said, he said, I say exactly the same thing. What the fuck? Are you a natural? I said, I'm not a natural. Are you sure? I'm not sure, but the game is actually from heaven, I believe. This is heaven's game. So whatever I'm teaching you, all the naturals, they're psychic and they're connected to the universe. You may not believe in that shit, some of you. Call it woo. This is not RSD shit. They all have exactly the same thoughts. You wonder, how do I know all this stuff? How do I know when the students are going to get laid? How does John know? And why is there so many testimonials? How can he predict down to the very day? Because there's something up there. There is some kind of universe out there. And there's a universal internet superhighway and a knowledge. This is probably Casanova, not queefing Casanova, but this is probably the real Casanova guy's game. He's accessing something up there. Just like the other student who can see the words in front of him on a piece of paper. Just get his course and stop being around the bush. Oh, thank you very much. So thank you for saying that. So, like I said, my course is the only one that works during COVID-19. I don't think it's going to change. Why didn't their old courses work during COVID-19? That's something to think about. Because my one's about social skills, social calibrations, emotional control, and game. So this is the black student, and I wouldn't say he's a student per se, because he only had one Skype with me. Well, that kind of makes him a student a little bit, but he only needed that one Skype because he got very advanced results. But once again, he proves that by being a natural, tall, well-dressed, and good body language. And you look at his body language. This is many months after Elite 30. His body language is perfect. He's chilled. Shoulders are back. Neck is up. Chin is up. He had everything perfect. But man, I'm your student, by the way. Really? I'm not sure which one you are. Send me a message on Skype or something. Say, John, this is me. So, John, this is me. And the problem is these fucking Asian people are ego tripping as hell. And that's the problem. A lot of the Asian students are just ego tripping. So let's look at the Middle Eastern student.
I'm here to get my full.
So he's gonna, okay, I'm gonna have to change his voice. So I'm gonna use an app here. And I have a lot of testimony. Maybe I just post like a very short version. Maybe like a 10-second version. And I'll explain what happened. So at least you know that testimonials are there. Because when you click on my playlist for testimonials, and maybe I could do the same thing for 50 more screenshot testimonials of students that did not make a video testimonial. I mean, it's fucking faggots, like how the holler, oh, the best. You're the best at what? You haven't accomplished shit. You get like one fucking infield like every single year at most. You have nothing. Fucking. And then you ask me for coaching, and you're just secretly trying to steal my fucking ideas of how to run this coaching program. You didn't even want to fucking pay for coaching, you fucking faggot. Fucking idiot. And you come over here and you try to promote your shit of the most autistic fucking game I've ever seen. Okay, let's continue. With no fucking lay testimonials. Just talking of your ass. I doubt you even have a fucking business. Stupid. Fucking faggots. All right, but I digress. So what was I saying? What was I saying? Oh, I know who you are. Yeah. Okay, I know who you are now. I hope that, you know, that you apply some of this stuff faster. Eventually, you have to use one of your Skypes. So eventually you have to use one of your Skypes. I can't say anything more, but I think I know who you are. So, all right. I think I get it. So go use your Skypes. Amen. Excellent. All right. So having said that, what was it going to reference? Oh yeah, I'm going to use a program, like I said, to change the guy's voice because I don't want it out there. He doesn't want it out there, and especially after he got stabbed in the chest 3 times. I don't think it's good to have his voice out there because with gangs and shit you have to deal with. And where the fuck is my program? So let's start looking at the testimonials. Okay, it has to be one of these. Okay, where the fuck is the program? What the fuck? Where the fuck is it? Oh, here it is. I feel like good looks can hurt your game. It makes you take rejection. No. It's not about that. The students who are good looking and not good looking have exactly the same fucking results. Their height and their race, right, is what determines the results. It's almost like they're all wearing a mask, whether you're good looking or not. If you're good looking, you only get women below your look scale sometimes, and you feel like you have good game. But the guys who are kind of like okay looking, like the London guy, versus a good looking guy, student, they get pretty much very similar results. None of them is better than the other. It's all height and it's all perceived race. Nothing else. Like, what the fuck? Just don't be too fat and, you know, be tall and be a specific race. It's not rocket science.
What's up, guys? I'm here to give my full review and testimonial to John Elite and this program and this coaching. But let me just introduce myself. I'm a Middle Eastern dude that lives in Europe. I've been doing it all my life. And I'm
1 second. Let me see if I can change his voice.
also a victim for the top Valentine, Mad Dog, son, John Anthony lifestyle. You name it. So I've been following those guys for like 5 or 6 years with actually getting 0 results. then, you know, I was looking on different internet forums and stuff like that to find someone new, a new coach.
Let's see if I can change the voice of it, because it sounds like I can make a chipmunk voice or something if you want. It'd be very funny. Let's see if I can.
Then I saw like John Elite and his program and his coaching getting hated by everybody. And at the beginning I was skeptical too, you know, I thought that people maybe tell the truth about him, but then I was actually given a chance. I emailed him, I talked with him, and I think he was a nice dude, you know. Also, yeah. So I was like giving him a shot, you know. He actually answered me, he actually helped me out. So I bought FLIRTIng, this coaching, and after being 1 week inside this program, I actually got laid with a blonde girl from my social circle, and then 3 more days to go. And I'm about a week inside this program.
Oh yeah, the reason why he didn't go for the other 3 girls, he got really sick. Was it COVID? No, it was a flu. But he still, you know, fingered another woman and almost banged the model. At 5'7", don't you guys get it? Social skills, social calibrations. What gets you models is the social skills. It's not the vibe. Social skills is unlimited. Unlimited. That's why all the naturals, that's why they keep working on sharpening their saw, because it's unlimited. You guys get it? It's a human skill. Pickup artists cannot do it because they're zombies. You guys get it? He already has good social skills because of his social circle for this guy. It was sharp, but not sharp enough without elite, you know, without elite 30. That's the problem. It wasn't sharp enough.
I really think that white people are actually hating on him. White people like talking shit about him on internet forums is because I think he's the best.
I don't think he's white, but he didn't know. But I think he's from one of these forum groups. It's all good. Everything's resolved. There's no more fighting. So
Dating coach out there without doubt, you know. Like if you sign up for him, you'll definitely get results. The only question is when you will get the results, not if. Because look at me, I was the victim for 6 years without 0 results. Like I had actually 0 results. So when I signed up for him, I actually got inside his program for 1 week. And the way like John actually coaches you, he's direct on point. He's like, no questions asked, just do it. Like, and sometimes he can be hard, but he's doing it for a purpose, and that's because he wants you guys to succeed. He wants you to take action in getting stuff done. So I actually recommend it to everybody. Like if you don't take his courses or his coaching, you're missing out something big, because he's a without question asked the best one out there. Like literally the best one out there. Like, and that's what he calls tough love, because he's direct on point. He'll tell you what to do. Don't like ask any questions, just do it and take the action and you'll see results. Look at me, I'm a Middle Eastern dude, 5'7" tall. I actually got laid yesterday, 1 week inside this program. And when I was like doing RSD, John Anthony lifestyle programs, I didn't achieve anything in 6 years, 6 to 5 years. But with John, there's only 1 week to recover.
1 week.
Required 1 week.
See that? He put 16 hours a day into sharpening his saw. So therefore, no matter what he did, it was exactly like this one over here, the first one. He gradually kept building attraction with the women over and over, because the body language of a natural. Get it? He didn't have to overly flirt, but because of the behavior, just like my Pakistani mentor, women fucking got their panties soaked. All the white women that ignored him before. He was ignored for 5 or 6 years in his fucking social circles. And at first, he says, John, I'm going to practice for 10 hours. I was like, okay. Over and over in the mirror. After that, I'm going to spend like 4 hours hanging around in his social circle so he can talk to the women. I was like, fine. In the last few hours, I'm going to do Daygame. That's why he says, I was like, great. He put in the work to get the neural pathways. He practiced in front of the mirror. He eventually started using the pants that all my other students wore. At first, he's like, that's so stupid. Why should I wear that? I wear like Hugo Boss shit. And I was like, shut the fuck up, right? I don't give a fuck what you wear. Do it my way, right? What the fuck do you know? And every time he gave me his opinion, I was like, shut the fuck up, right? It's not because I'm trying to be like shutting down the conversation. It's more like you haven't earned your right to speak to me. You know, you haven't earned your right to speak to me about your opinions as facts. So he said, fine, I'll just do it. Fuck, women were already into him. All these changes. Women were just going crazy. Crazy. Fuck.
got the results. So yeah. Thank you guys for listening. I really recommend it.
Okay. So that's the end of the video. And this voice change. Hold on a second. There's so many students. When you look at the guy who lost his virginity, the Indian guy, he also did not use any flirting or anything like that. He just did social skills flow drill and he lost his virginity. You guys remember that? This other guy is annoying as shit. But what's that? Hold on a second. There's too many testimonies that I think, which one do I want to show? So we can look at other case studies before. We can play it faster. So this other guy's from Vancouver. So remember the Middle Eastern guy? This is older testimonial. This was around like maybe 20 lasers or something. Where the fuck is this testimony? Okay, how about let's look at the black student. How he switched over from social skills to social calibrations during COVID. He wasn't getting results he's in America, he's not in Europe. But he looks exactly like the other guy from Europe. They have the same faces. I show him once. It's like, holy fuck, is that your twin brother? It's like, I don't know, man. That's scary, man. Hey, this could have been you. But he kept ego tripping after his second fuck buddy. But listen to what he had to say.
Hey, John, it's me again. Just wanted to give you my COVID-19 testimonial update. Because I know ever since COVID happened, everything got twisted on its head. I know that people weren't really going out. Everybody's wearing a face mask and everybody was scared to get near each other. And that definitely affected my game. Because I know once before John, I was able to just, flirt a lot more, touch. But, in this day and age right now, it wasn't going to fly. So I know I definitely hit you up and you recommended me early access. And I know with that, I was able to ask just a lot of questions that I needed clarity on. I know one of the main factors we hit it on was my fashion. Because I know once before, I just like a rock star and it definitely was fun, but I wasn't getting the...
Yeah, he was dressing too much like a Zara man. He just kept wearing some, flashy shit. But he needed to be more whitewashed for COVID-19, more in the tribe. And yeah, once he changed his pants, one of the women in the car ripped out his fucking dick, right? And started stroking it. And he was like, what the fuck is happening? And then he should have sent me a message on Elite Access. What should I do? What should I do? He didn't do it. So he freaked out and he drove her home. I would have told him to find a place in the corner somewhere where nobody can see them, maybe in a park or a forest or somewhere like that, hiking trail. Just park the car there and get that blowjob. And he's like, oh, I should have asked you, right? Blah, blah, blah. But that pants, that brown pants, was the first change he made. He didn't have as much money during COVID. He's in the military now. He's overseas fighting. That's why you don't hear from him as much. He has 2 fuck buddies. So before, he was not getting results during COVID-19. He was doing what? He was doing the gamey game shit. He was not calibrated. He was vibing his SMV. So he just kept flirting and flirting. Before COVID-19, he was a superstar in the United States. Women were into him. They got protector status. He also got women had money. They all worked. Everything became 10 times harder when he was trying to act like an autistic fucking POA. He didn't have the heart to tell me that he wasn't getting results. And then one day he says, John, I'm really stuck. And I said to him, what percentage do you believe me I can get you laid during COVID-19? And you know what he said? Do you believe having a purpose gets you women? Fuck AMS. That's my answer. Fuck AMS, this stupid theory. Be on your purpose. How about be on there, shut the fuck up? Oh, he block, I block. I go with AMS. It's like, it's fucking stupid. People are like, oh, he's my race. Sometimes they don't look exactly like you, despite their race. That's not how women perceive them. Fuck AMS.
Job done. I wasn't hooking as many sets. I wasn't able to, to get the dates and everything that I once before was able to get. But once we changed that, and I got a lot more whitewashed, a lot of stuff started to change. I was definitely able to hook a lot more sets, and get a lot of that practice in, which I wasn't getting before through my other type of fashion things that I had. And then I know another thing we hit on was my social skills. Because I know with that, I had to go back to the drawing board with that one and start over to where I was practicing all the things you taught me when I first started with you.
When he was starting out from Elite 30, he was completely like an RSD zombie. He could barely even string together a fucking sentence. It's like zombie mode. A shitty fucking afro, like shitty hair. I'm not saying afro is bad, but he had a big fucking fro, a brown fucking football jersey. It was a fucking disaster. But he did exactly everything I said as fast as possible. That's what makes him so good. Unlike the ego-tripping Asian students now, as soon as they get a little bit of a Mako or something, they fucking ego trip. Low self-esteem, high ego. But this guy, like...
And it definitely helped a lot because, I'm able to talk to people a lot more, doing everything. It's just everything switched around. And with that, I was able to get my lay on top of all the other extra advice that you gave.
Yeah, so you bang this woman, she's like mixed or something? That's good.
I was having trouble with when I was out practicing out there and all the things that was happening. And he definitely gave me clarity on those things. And I want to say thanks for that. I want to say thank you as well for giving me access to the John Elite Access program that you had, where I was able to ask you a lot more questions that I needed clarity on and into situations like that. Because I know without that, I really wouldn't have gotten my lay. So I want to say thank you for that, John. And anyone that's on the fence with training with John, I recommend that you do it. He's the best coach around. Because I know before, a long time ago, I was skeptical, but John is the real deal. He'll get you laid and then some. You know what I mean? He'll definitely throw your whole life around and you'll be surprised. He teaches you about so many things. And like I said, don't hearken all the RSD stuff for all other dating coaches.
He was a big RSD victim before. He was an RSD Julian fan. RSD Julian's game has destroyed Vancouver, but I didn't tell you about something about this RSD Julian game. Well, it has destroyed Vancouver since other tall, good-looking Asian dating coaches taught it before. And the other guy was also trained by RSD Tyler. It has destroyed Vancouver. It's evil.
The only one you need for all your troubles. He's like a multi-tool, you know what I mean? The only person you need in your life. And I just want to say thanks a lot, John. And like I said, hopefully give you a lot more late testimonials. And here's to the next one. I'll catch you later.
So that was just the first testimonial. But after his second testimonial, he started ego tripping. It got to him. He started thinking he was a god. He didn't know what was happening. I guess once the self-esteem, the ego goes too high, the self-esteem is too low. And he was about to get a third lay, but the women had herpes. And she said she brought condoms with her and it's okay. And one of my other students was a medical doctor. I won't say which student. And we said, don't do it, don't do it. You can still catch herpes, even if she's not shedding. And we're like, abort, abort, abort. He was about to get a third fuck buddy. But then now he's in the army. He didn't finish his mission and his eyes kept turning red. He got too egotistical. But he's no longer focusing on just game and vibing his SMV. It's his second testimony. So just showing the testimony.
I have to be up at 4:30 just because I have to go work out in the morning. So
you don't have to be lay off that day?
No. It has to be like Monday to Friday.
So yeah, that's after he banged this woman. So he just tried to get as much clips as possible. So he just like her in the bathroom after sex. She just took a shower. So I can't get in trouble for that from YouTube. I can't. So it's fine. So.
Hey John, I'm here with another update in about a week and a couple of changes.
So look at his watch, man. It's like awesome. His dress shirt, his blazer. Everyone dresses exactly the same. Throughout the whole COVID, all the students, all the late testimonials, the same fucking fashion. Like, whoa, what the fuck?
And got my lay-in. But this one was definitely a crazy one at that. Just because I met this girl around the little college area, and we exchanged numbers, and we hung out maybe once or twice. And I know that I hit her up one day in that same week. We hung out, and I wanted her to come over, and she was giving me all these crazy notions that I really had no idea what to say. So that's when I texted you through the John Lead access, and I was screenshotting it. And from those few screenshots, you let me know exactly what to text her, and I just copy and pasted it. And when I did that, she ended up coming out, and she said, "I'll be there after work." Now that one was funny. I remember just laughing.
So that's the funny thing. The whole idea is that text game is like only 10% will come out or some shit. And no, it's like this most, some of the earlier Lay's testimonials, he just said, "John, what am I supposed to text a girl?" And I was like, just copy and paste it, and just she comes out. So if you have some value, they'll still come out if you got some text game. That's why a lot of their students, like for these stupid Tinder faggotry course, they're like all white people, 95%. They have a lot of value. Tell a black guy. But a lot of students, they copy and paste my text and they come out. So you get some value first. Be a man of value they want to meet. So he copy and pasted it from Elite Access. I had to explain to him, like, what the fuck is she trying to say? She was thinking about relationships, mixed with this. She was giving all these mixed signals. And I knew exactly what the signals were. So I said, text her this. And he's like, "Okay, I don't understand this." But listen, come over and we'll talk about it. We don't need to do anything you aren't ready to, disqualification. But let's see how things goes. Otherwise, I'll make other plans, pre-selection. They're like, "Holy fuck, there's like 4 algorithms in one text." Yeah.
And then when she got it, came over, like after 20 minutes, got the land, John. Because if I didn't have that Elite access, I definitely would not have got that land. So I want to say thank you, love, for helping me with that in the moment when I needed it. So I'm telling y'all, if y'all don't have that Elite access, you need to get it. Just because he'll help you in real time, like when you're doing.
Oh yeah, I do have a limitation for joining Elite Access. You are not allowed to join my course if you don't have Elite 30 or Elite Playbook. So, and literally, if I don't like you and you're unteachable and you're resistant, I have told students to fuck off. One guy says, "I'm suicidal. I want to take your Elite Access," right? And I don't believe in myself. He's an Asian guy, right? He's an autistic programmer. So I told him to go fuck himself. Right? I'm not gonna spend 1 year listen to you moan. He's probably committed suicide. But I also saved like 8 or 9 people's lives. So keep that in mind. I think he's still alive. Got too much of a pussy to kill himself. But most of you are not allowed to join Elite Access. Let's just say that. Unless I like you enough to the point where I can teach you. If I fucking hate your guts and you're resistant, I would say fuck off. But the only way of buying in for Elite Access, because it's not a coaching course, it's a consulting course. Today, a fucking Asian student was ego tripping because he's wearing my fucking fashion. The blazers and everything. He made out with women and he's just like getting positive reactions. But another student, I won't say what ethnicity, was one of the worst students I had. He's wearing blazers and a haircut, and right now he has nothing but hot white women around him, like 9 out of 10 opening him. He's not a good-looking guy. But because they're horny and they're bored, he's getting opened by some of the hottest women. He's living in a certain part, not in the same area I am. But I won't say where. There's an island next to BC. The hottest women. They're all white. They're all fit. And now it's just, I won't say what happened, but he's in a relationship. Let's just say that. And he's kind of like, "Oh, fuck, like, what am I supposed to do?" I say, "Don't do anything. This is a long-term relationship." And perhaps I won't even say how much of a long-term it is. I won't give you any more details. But I say, don't do it. She will leave you, as she says she will, if you do that. But I digress.
Something where you're stuck, he's able to respond and help you maneuver so that you're able to get it in and you're actually learning from it as well. So next time I run into a girl that's giving me this issue, I'll definitely be able to handle that. And like I said, John, fuck all the haters.
Exactly. Fuck all the haters.
You definitely fuck them all. Like, they'll definitely talk all that shit, but they have nothing on you, John. You're the best person around. And like I said, you need to get the Elite Access. It's definitely a big help. And like I said, I'll give you the next.
I won't accept anyone that is like a resistant. So if you're like Asian and you're kind of fucked up and you're ego tripper, go fuck yourselves and lay in a corner and die. You have to be teachable. You can't just be like, oh, I don't believe myself, dabble. No, you like for the Asian zombies. You can't just ego trip like a zombie because now you need social skills. You're like, oh shit, like the natural. The Asians don't get it. They got laid during lockdown 1 because a lot of body language stuff. Lockdown 2, sure, and just a few during lockdown 3. But because the social skills is necessary now, it's no longer just goddamn game tactics, or it's not just body language. It's like the whole fucking upper package. Who knows? Maybe lockdown 4, you need some emotional flirting. Eventually, right? So if there was another lockdown in the future, I don't think so because of vaccinations. But if there was another lockdown,
Hope the next wave happens real soon. Sign it out.
Yeah, that's a problem. That next lay is like he was ego tripping, this guy too. He didn't know why. But then I was showing him the London student. And that's the funny thing about the London student. When you look at his testimonial, let's see if I can find it. So, okay, let's talk about Indian student. This guy is super fucking autistic, one of the most autistic students I have. But he's able to keep a conversation going for a long time. He lost his virginity.
Hey, so how's everyone doing tonight? So tonight I'm doing a video testimonial of me losing my virginity to a Latina that I met during Daygame. So basically I met John a long time ago and I bought his products called Elite 30 and Elite Playbook, and recently I bought his product called Elite Access. So for me, I'm a hard case autistic student of his, which is really hard for.
Very, 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 very autistic. We're talking about like holy, no facial expressions, monotone, Asperger's, autism, like shit.
Like a coach to teach, but like with Elite Access, John was patient with me and he gave me plenty of chances to improve on my conversation, where I had to learn how to do the conversation flow chart for a whole month.
Yeah, whole fucking month. Every single day, just doing the flow chart. Don't you guys get it? Like the naturals. Don't you guys get it? A fucking knife drop moment, or a sword drop, or a mic drop moment. Every fucking thing. Social skills. Social. It's not like something I'm making up, guys. This is the fucking truth. All the naturals do it. So why aren't you doing it? Because you're zombies. You're fucking zombies. The fucking zombie apocalypse here. Dumb motherfuckers. The PUAs are like zombies. They have no fucking thoughts in their brain. They have no social skills. It takes a human to do social skills. Stupid. Like, don't you guys get it? It's exactly the same fucking pattern. Don't shoot the messenger because I'm telling you guys the truth. All the STEAM results are exactly the same fucking formula. Body language and social skills. Oh, but where's the game, John? Where's all the flirting and all? Do you think this guy knows how to flirt? Like, if he tries to flirt, he has to be very direct because he doesn't fucking emote.
Before I could gather the skill down, it was really tough at the beginning because I was making one mistake after another mistake.
Oh yeah, it's just him getting yelled at nonstop.
And like, I had some parts right, but I keep making other mistakes.
So basically what he means by that, everything means a lot. It's kind of like when you think about autistic people, imagine they grab the sword and they drop the shield, because when they focus on one thing, this drops. And when he grabs the shield, the armor drops. When he grabs the armor up, the sword drops. Does that make sense? It drops. Then he grabs the sword again. It just keeps dropping because he can never get the skills down. This is why the old man, for 52 years old, when he first did Kaizen, he did like maybe 300 or 200 reps. Now he's doing 1,000 reps per exercise. They're like, holy fuck. That's how you fix an RSD victim, by correcting the body language for over 1,000 reps. That's when they're autistic as shit. And it took like 5-6 days for one fucking exercise. Learn how to smile for the old man. Ridiculous, but.
Conversation. And with Elite Access, John was able to correct me with those mistakes. And eventually I got better at it. And where I could got a lay, and I also got another date after that. So basically I met this girl. She was sitting outside the makeup shop, and like, she was just sitting by herself, and I went up to her and I started talking to her. Then like eventually we started clicking, and like I got her number. Then like she texted me first saying it was nice to meet you and all that, and then she texted me saying what day I was free. So like we went on our first date, which was to a restaurant, and her sister told me like she saw us talking, but she thought it was like we were friends and stuff. That like after like 40 minutes or like 30 minutes passed, her sister finally came up to us and was like, "Hey, how's it going?" And like I introduced myself to her sister, and like both of us started like clicking and stuff, and everything else went great.
Don't you guys get it? When he was just having normal conversation on normal social skills, he was just doing this. He was slowly building attraction. You see that? It supports my entire thesis. This is not opinions as facts. This is facts as opinions. You see that? That means all the times you're on YouTube Live listening to me, is you like, I don't agree with this. But it's all derived from the students' results, the data. You're like, holy fuck. Even if you don't agree with it, you can't disagree with my student results. They all follow the exact same fucking formula. And COVID-19 shows what works and what doesn't work. You'll see what works and what doesn't work.
Her sister actually helped me like make out with this girl on our first date. She did not cock block me at all. And like after our first date, I started making out with her. And then on the second date, me and this girl, we went to the movies. And at the movies, I was just making out with her and like cuddling her. And she eventually came and sat on my lap and started kissing me and started like playing with my hands and stuff. So like after the movies, I pulled her back to my car where I fucked the shit out of her. Kind of like after, we're still talking and we're gonna eventually meet for another date. But I just want to say for all the minorities out there that like you have to get this program. You have to have John as your coach, because if you don't have him as your coach, you're basically wasting your time and you're not going to get the girl that you want. And like with John, he'll correct you on what you need to be corrected. And for you all hard cases out there, John will be patient with you and he will work with you. So I just want to say thank you to John for like being patient with me and giving me a chance to be one of his students. So now I have the knowledge that I need to go pull whatever girl that I desire.
And over here, he talks about something else, about the fashion.
We also worked on fashion, which you are seeing right now in this video. This is the t-shirt or the dress shirt he recommended, and right here is the little pants he recommended, and he also recommended this haircut, which the girl I got laid with, she really complimented on my haircut, and she started playing with my hair. So some people like to get their own style hair, which I do not recommend. If you guys got the Elite 30, or if you got any of his Skypes, I recommend you guys take one of his Skypes and let him like do your fashion for you. Let him pick out the haircut, let him pick out the type of clothes you're gonna wear. So that way the girl can see that this is a very high value guy who got his shit together.
Very autistic Indian guy. But that's the funny thing. They all wear exactly the same hairstyle, the same fucking fashion, the same shirt, the same pants, the same shoes. Don't you guys see there's a pattern to this? That maybe I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm talking about the science. This is not some fucking opinions as facts theories. All the student results supports everything I ever say. Every single time. Let's see. Let's talk about the British student. Before he was like getting 10 fuck buddies, he wasn't as good when he was just using body language. He's very autistic. He had no social skills. If you guys don't think social skills, real social skills, is important, and it's just all flirting, oh, you are wrong, because he got his ass kicked out there during COVID-19, but he became a fucking slayer. Now he's with his model girlfriend. He never needs to come back to the game. He found the women of his dreams. But let's listen to the first testimonial. So I play a little bit faster. So that I'll play at 1.5 speed. So you guys can learn from it. But you learn a lot. Okay? Hold on a second. Why is this intro taking so fucking long? I was trying to show this, the chart thing. The S.
Hi, I want to make a testimonial to John Leeds, the best daygamer in the world. And I know that because I've tried beforehand not to daygame model and top end client and few companies, and I never really gave out the right information to actually get the right results. And then all of a sudden I found John, and he actually got me the results I wanted. Like, he literally told me the correct things. Because before that, I was very depressed and suicidal. I felt very useless.
Yeah, I mean, Todd Valentine made him so suicidal, and so is London Daygame, that he nearly killed himself. He was about to kill himself at the end of the month. And I was like, you know, I got him laid during that month and saved his fucking life. So it's like, John, you save people. I saved many people's lives as a dating coach. Even my video editor, his sister was like, she was in the hospital, about to die. I still paid for the operation, at least part of it. Even if he had to live homeless, he didn't want to accept anymore for a while, and then he got his apartment back. I've done a lot of nice things that people don't realize. They always think I'm evil because I don't have high vaginal energy. If it's high vibrational energy that makes you a slayer with women, then why is JT Tran the nicest high vibrational energy, or RSD Tyler are shit fucking, you know, daygamers? Like, they have no fucking proof. It's positive reactions.
I felt like there was no hope for me. And then all of a sudden,
You can hear he actually like is very autistic. He's very like monotone, very autistic sounding. You can tell.
Johnny, who gave a huge emphasis on social skills and social calibrations.
Huh? Social skills? Social calibrations. You get it? This is before he learned social skills to the max.
With the gaming stuff. And then he actually changed my world. Like, he changed my social media for a start. And the way I look, the way I dress, the way I do my hair. Because he knew that the image is important. He knew that social skills is important. He knew that social calibrations, body language, tonality is important.
Mm-hmm.
And he then changed my social media, which got me a lay with a Chinese woman. And literally that happened within a day. And then after COVID, when COVID-19 hit, I started practicing the Elite 30, which I got off in. And I bought the Elite 30 and the playbook, the Elite playbook, and the Elite bundle. And I'm in the Elite Inner Circle, and I'm in purchase of getting Elite access. And when I got the Elite 30, I was practicing the fundamentals every day until the point where I would just practice my body language, my tonality, the opener. And then I approached this Brazilian on the street outside.
So he approached a Brazilian woman outside, you know, and he banged her. It was not easy to get that lay for him, but that really changed his mind, realizing that body language, although his social skills was not perfect, played a big role. But he came to me for help afterwards because he still got rejected after the lay. And I looked over his infield on one Skype and I realized, your social skills sucks. Shit. So I created this new social skills flow drill with 3 steps because of him. And the other students are using it and they're ego tripping.
And I bounced it straight to a bar for drinks after his opener. Few social skills, opening questions, statements, comments, all stuff that works. A little bit of flirting from the playbook, and bounced her. And then took it from the bar to another bar. And then the non-verbals were really.
I don't recommend using alcohol, but he used it whatever. It got some, yeah. You can do it without it. So.
Good with her. And then sexual seeding. And then liquor. And she took me back to her place without doing too much work. And I literally got laid by a Brazilian Sunday late. And not many people in Daygame are doing that in London. Not many people are. So Johnny is the best Daygame coach in the world. And of course the London Daygame model just doesn't work. Because they were suicidal and it was just not a clear teaching. So they just didn't, the stuff didn't work. And none of them did. And you just feel like he's like, don't trust. He's one day coach, he's the only guy I know that has got real game. Because I literally got same day late. I know I can do it again. If you practice it, I know I can do it again. And he changed my look. He changed my social skills. He changed my calibrations. He changed everything about me. I'm thankful for that.
Okay, so that was just the beginning, but that's when he burned out. So this is when he used his first Skype, I believe, and he got 3 fuck buddies. You can hear what he has to say, and he starts to sound different. After his lays, he starts to sound more confident. At first, I thought he was a much older guy. His face is like a little bit wrinkly and shit, and I was like, well, what the fuck? And he was actually younger than I expected. He was so stressed out due to cortisol, autism, and rejections that he nearly killed himself. So I saved his life.
And most importantly, delay didn't work. Then I followed Todd Valentine, and his stuff just didn't work. Then I found John Lee, and he's taught social skills and social calibrations. I then purchased Elite 30. This got me a lay with a Chinese woman. It also got me a same-day lay with a Brazilian woman.
Yeah, so this is the old stuff, and
And then I purchased the Elite Access, getting into John's mental filter.
was it worth it? He bought a lot of the courses, but they all helped him do a lot of degrees. You know, it's not like oh, let's upsell them on everything like that. It's not about upselling them or just teaching a course like or having a product that doesn't work so they go to the boot camp. No, it's that if you need it, there's other options. They're all good options. Everyone's different.
My fitness, my fashion, but most importantly, my game. It also helped me with 2 infill analysts from the past week or so, and he went through my infill breakdowns with me. And went through my
This was the thing. If it just took one infield analysis and he got like so many fuck buddies, I have the best analysis in the fucking world because he's not the only student that has gone through the same thing. So for all the people dropping off, there's not some fucking infomercial. I'm trying to make a point here.
actions, and they really helped me a lot doing all steps, with me learning social skills and social calibrations. Within the past week, something amazing happened. I first got a blowjob, one instant later a blowjob with
So this is her. Don't worry, we'll censor well enough that you can't see what's going on, even though there might be some.
Weeks ago. That was last weekend. And I got 3 lays within the week.
With 1 week.
And
I know he's tall, he's white, right? Blah, blah, blah. I told you it's all about height and race and perceived natural status. It's not about looks. It's about, you know, all that shit. It's all science.
with my Brazilian girl, got the same day lay with previously, I transferred into a fuck buddy.
Yeah, so the Brazilian became a fuck buddy. See, this is all I can show. I had to put a smiley face because I don't want to show her vagina.
With my Chinese girl, transferred her into a fuck buddy.
Mhm.
And one was with a white girl, which I got the lay, like her concept.
Yeah, she's very pretty. In London, a lot of the women are ugly as shit. So she's super fucking attractive. She's like 8 out of 10 looks. So he's already moving on up.
To her, I transferred her into a fuck buddy, and she's also from Daygame. And
Yeah, so he's starting to get some hotter women through social skills. You see that? Social skills jumps the women, because the ones that are really hot as women, they all have good social skills. They know how to get along in these groups of high value people. You're like, oh fuck. So it's not about more vibe, it's not about more money, although it does help. It's about more social skills.
he has literally transformed my life, because before I was very suicidal before I found him. But now he is literally
We'll go to the next one.
correct on.
I hope by seeing all these testimonials that you're starting to see a pattern here, that they all follow the exact same formula, social skills. If that's the case, then maybe you should start implementing Elite 30. It is the best course in the world. Nothing can beat it. I'm not just claiming and just saying that out of my mouth. And when I say these words, there's gravity behind it. There's gravity behind it.
This is a video testimonial for
Remember this one?
approaches on the street, right? It's not a numbers game. Like it's all bullshit. It's not a numbers game, right? I mean, a little bit. You need to get skills, is what it is. So you need to put in some numbers to
So basically, he lost his virginity.
approaching girls, and I had like 20-word conversations. Because I don't think I've gained my college campus before, right? But a college campus is kind of a crush. It's more of a warm approach than it is cold. You're pre-selected because you're students, right? A lot of conversational topics are just set up for you. For example, classes, studying, ongoing campus events. But I got laid in less than 30 approaches on the street, right? It's not a numbers game. Like this, it's all bullshit. It's not a numbers game, right? I mean, a little bit. You need to get skills, is what it is. So you need to put in some numbers to improve your skills. But you don't need to be going out there and doing like 200 approaches to get laid, right? If you just practice your skills in a mirror, it won't.
That's the social calibrations exactly on here to sharpen that, like the sword, katana. Telling
Get that long, right? Because there's a lot of ongoing issues right now, like COVID, right? I live in California, so there's wildfires, so there's a lot less people on the street, like basically almost no one on the streets because it's really smelly outside. And when you're talking to a girl, you need to just look like you care. Like you need to make the correct facial expressions. You need to have perfect body language, right? And your voice needs to not be like creepy as fuck, right? Because that was the problem I had before. I just came off creepy as fuck because I just sat weird. I was standing wrong, right? You need to stand 45 degrees. But the girl that I lost my virginity to, I put her in a boba shop, right? I was like, excuse me, is anyone sitting here? She would sit down, and I sat next to her. And we talked about COVID and ongoing events and things of that nature. And there was barely any game, honestly. Like,
there's barely any game. So he's not using gaming tactics. But now that you can explain, right? Remember the flirts? I talked about it. The very first flirt over here. I talked about how he progressively flirts by having this Elite 30. It's what my Pakistani mentor does, and it's what a lot of students do. So you wonder, how can a student, by not flirting nonstop, be able to get laid? Because they are flirting with the body language. They are flirting, but in a different way. It's like a Wi-Fi signal. I'm telling you, this is not some bullshit. I'm telling you, everything I'm saying is truth. It's so fucking stupid. Like, why don't you guys listen? I'm telling you the fucking data of my students. How can you deny it? Exactly the same fucking results. Everyone, the same fucking results. Because they're doing exactly the same shit. 1 second. Old man's contacting me.
Yeah.
Okay. So right now I'm talking to 52-year-old student. I'm on YouTube Live right now, so that's why I have to. I'll listen to the message afterwards. But we have to improve your opener. You're uncalibrated since the last Kaizen. So you want to start differently. You want to start indirect this time. Excuse me real quick. I have a question. I was looking for this breakfast fucking German, I don't know, fucking shop. Do you know where I can find it? Oh, by the way, I've noticed something else about you right now. I've noticed you have this X plus Y. Are you Z? Hey, I know we should be social distancing, but this COVID that's going around, or this virus is going around, don't worry. I'm healthy. I'm vaccinated. She's like, oh, it's okay. You have to deal with that. So we have to drill that down. And plus, I'm going to help you with the stop. And you got to learn how to speak slower. You're talking too fucking fast, like cortisol. And you'll see the new exercise soon. I'm going to send it to you maybe by tonight. You practice it when you start Kaizen for that day number 12 or something. So, yeah. Sometimes people like fucking steal the advice and they just like use it. Like when they hear the students and they get laid from it just for one fucking. All right, let's see.
Anything sexual at all. Eventually I asked her, are you hungry, right? She's like, yeah, and then we went and got sushi. We went to her hotel room, and I was like, holy shit, right? Am I about to same day late? Am I about to lose my virginity to this? And I was like, oh yeah, I am. And so we're walking in there, we're watching Netflix, right? Eating our sushi. I go to the restroom, right? After we finish. I come out, she's laying on the bed. I lie next to her. I just use a little bit of Kino. Wham, bam. I'm taking her clothes off, pulling on the condom. She can give me head before that. But then I pull on the condom, and I'm smashing her.
So there's no need for wrestling with her in a bedroom or an escalation and all that shit. It's like you break through the compliance. You build trust. That's why social skills work during COVID-19. Ultimate trust. In a Western country, this guy's from California. It's not the easiest place, but he did okay even with a wildfire. And he still built trust. There was a big fucking wildfire in the past. In the whole BC, right? Because we are right next to California, or very close to California. Our skies was all gray before, thanks to them. So.
And everything's cool. You know, we exchange numbers, and we're getting Korean barbecue next week, right? And I leave. I was like, whoa, dude. Like, you need to fix these other pumps, and the girl won't think you're creepy. And it's a lot easier that way. Other team coaches, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They don't know. Like, or they just lie to you. All I did was use Elite 30. Like, honestly, I barely looked at John's playbook. I probably will in the future. But fix your social skills. You get late, like, really, really fast. Like, at least that's what happened with me. I think it'll happen. I'm not perfect, right? I know I still need improvement, right? Once you do that, you're good to go.
Exactly. And let's hear. Wait. So you're saying there's actually more testimony? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more for the white student. Plus, there's like more than 12. And success leaves clues. Success leaves clues. Oh fuck. I'll just retie the fucking sword in the back here. Yeah. Fuck. Oh well. Yeah, this piece came off the back. So it's okay. It's easy to fix. It's easy to fix. So this is the other student. Let's hear him.
He is the best Daygame coach in the world because he has literally got me my 9.5 out of 10 fuck buddy and turned her into my girlfriend.
Oh, this is the future one. That means you have not heard this one. We're going right into the future. That's when he got the 9.5 out of 10 fuck buddy. But it became a girlfriend. So how do you approach a shy girl? Build more comfort and use statements of empathy. And just tell her, like, you know, hey, I don't mean to frighten you. You look scared, right? I'm not a creep. I'm not an RSD victim. And you'll be fine.
After I got 10 fuck buddies. I even accidentally fucked this fuck buddy's sister.
Yes.
She looked just like her. They're both blondes and Latinas. And I accidentally fucked her. But that won't happen again because her sister wants me and my girlfriend together. My girlfriend's literally 9.5 out of 10. And she is literally...
I can't spoil everything, but that's just one of them. You're like, holy fuck, man. Why don't you guys listen to me? I'm telling you guys the fucking truth. Here's a guy who's not the best looking guy in the world. He's tall. And he's like white, and he just kept looking at. Here's another one.
Hi, I want to make a video testimonial for John Elite.
You can hear his voice changes throughout the different testimonials because every lay he became more and more confident, and he looked younger and younger.
Right from the previous testimony I've just given it, and before I've got 3 fuck buddies and a blowjob.
So this is probably the next one after the one I posted on the YouTube.
Well, lately I've just got the 4th fuck buddy, and it's an Argentinian woman.
You can see his voice is not as confident as the very last one when he got his girlfriend or fuck like. It's like holy shit.
And she doesn't live that far from me, and it's really.
Next one.
Hi, I wanted to do a testimonial for John Elite. He is literally the best Daygame coach in the world. He's actually the best dating coach in the world, and I say that because I got a 5-some the other night.
Oh yeah, this is the 5-some one.
4 Chinese.
I literally have all his fucking infields. I have all the lay picks. I have all the WhatsApp. I have all the testimonials. I have all the fucking proof in the world. You can't even deny it. You can't even fucking deny it. And some people thought, well, there's no way this is possible. Hey, this guy's beating like everyone in London. I'm telling you, it's all height, race, social skill, social calibrations, and a little bit of fashion. Nothing else. Everything else is just zombie mode.
Women and me. And one of my fuck buddies actually set it all up. He has literally sorted my life out. 9 fuck buddies in total. Absolutely, he's a wizard. There's nothing that man can't do. He taught me everything that I needed to know about social skills and social calibrations. And if you're not training with him, you will never reach those type of results in Daygame. This is not online game. This is Daygame. This is literally meeting people in real life. And he is the master of that. Please, listen to me. Go with John Elite if you're struggling. He is literally the best Daygame coach in the world. And I'm not saying that because I want.
Next one.
Hi, I wanted to do a video testimonial for John Elite, like during pandemic, during Corona. Absolutely crazy, I know, but he's literally done it for me. And he has taught me everything I need to know to do that. And of course, people will say, well, I'm white, I'm good looking.
He's not that good looking, but yeah.
So, well, no, I have autism. He literally, like, I went to John Elite when I had 0 out of 10 social skills. 0 out of 10. And he rebuilt me. He taught me my social skills and social calibrations. So he is literally the best day game coach in the world. Because I've literally been on these forums just browsing, and these London day gamers using direct day game, they're not getting results. They are not getting results. And I've been Skyping with John recently, and of course I'm going to Skype with him again to get that 6 fuck buddy. And
so this is around the 6, okay. So this is around 5 fuck buddies. This is before the 5 sum that led to 9 fuck buddies. So I think it's 11 women because the sister is the extra one out. So, but 10 fuck buddies, because you not make the sister a fuck buddy because, you know, he's with the other.
Already got 5. 1 with an English woman, 1 with a Brazilian. Hi, I wanted to do a video testimonial for John Elite. He has got me 5 fuck buddies from Daygame. He has literally got me 4 hot Chinese women in a 5-some from Daygame. And he's literally got me a 9 out of 10 Latina from Daygame. And I fucked all of them. And the recent ones I'm going to convert into fuck buddies, which will potentially be 10 fuck buddies.
You can see his fucking journey from, and his voice changes, his looks changes, his hair keeps growing, and he's been through hell. From a guy who's suicidal to this. I can't play it all because if I play all of this stuff, I'm going to spoil everything. But I wanted to give you a sample. This is Johnny Elite's training, the best day game coach in the world. Anyone could say that they're the best coach and stuff like that, or they can claim like this fucking faggot, like Holler or whatever his name is. No fucking lay testimonials. Fucking who gives a shit? It's like 2 fucking infields, and it's like this fucking stupid ass mother. People can just talk. They have no fucking COVID-19 late testimonials, none, or they have 1 late JT scam. I'm not saying it's a scam, but that's a funny rhyming name. But just 1 fucking late testimonial, and then what? That gives him credibility. You might be saying, "Oh, still 1, man." So that's once a year, you fucking idiots. You didn't get any last year because the mystery method doesn't work. Then you got like Queef Casanova with 1 short student that got 6 pulls, but how many of them are lays? I don't know. Like that's all you can aim for. You might as well put like a pistol in your mouth and pull the fucking trigger, metaphorically speaking. Because when you waste your money like that, you're like, "Oh, this student's white." It doesn't matter. I got students of every fucking ethnicity. Wait, they're COVID.
Scheduled them all in this week, so I'm going to convert them anyway. And the 9 out of 10 one, she worked as a model, and she's better looking than half what these white dating coaches get.
It's not more half; it's like better than all of them.
You know, she's really, really good looking. And there's been a lot of hate on John recently.
Yeah, all that stuff, but it doesn't matter. I get a lot of hate, but it's fine. It's all good with this. There's no, in the long run, most people don't really hate me that much. In the long run, they just sort of like, they'll start to respect me. It's a long time since I Skype. Obviously, I obviously banged, but I got it like a long-term relationship until this day with the same girl. I call her my main girlfriend all the time. I want to. So, so what do you want to tell me? I believe I taught you before. I remember you very carefully. Build my rotation, okay? On build your rotation. So, are you allowed to cheat on your girlfriend? Is she allowing you to see other women? If not, right, then you have to do it behind her back. You have to do it behind her back. And you have to close very quickly. So you need the social skills. That's the only way you're going to do it during COVID, to build that rotation. Unless you're in a third world country. I'm not sure where you are right now. Are you in Brazil or are you in Argentina? I don't remember. But I do remember training you. Like all the old students, I've trained it before. Congratulations on your girlfriend. You know, congratulations. So, as long as you bang them over and over and bang them many times a week, like this student, the London guy, then that's what keeps them on the line. Because if you fuck her like 4 or 5 times, she'll eventually try to see you again. And eventually, if you see her too many times, she'll bring up a relationship. So you just want to bang her with the right amount of time. So she says she doesn't mind who I fuck, but she doesn't want me to put it on her face. Yeah, I think for the women, she's willing to let you do that just to keep you, which is fine. I remember you were a Spanish student or something of mine, like long ago. You said I look like Van Damme. Oh, are you the martial artist guy? Like, are you that? guy. I remember someone like that, or maybe somebody else, another Spanish guy. But yeah, I think he looked like Van Damme or something. I do remember saying that physically, maybe because the cheekbones and a lack of body fat and stuff like that, and defined. But yeah, I do remember you. So like I said, success leaves clues. So you can see the old students popping up and, haha, I do jujitsu, haha. I remember now. Your picture is popping up. I remember on Facebook you were doing jujitsu. I'm getting back into jujitsu and we're doing some of the easier stuff like Gracie, combatives. My Krav Maga is already second nature, but my submissions are getting a little bit weak over the years. I'm gonna get back into jujitsu. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. I want to make sure that I can handle a fight, even an assassination attempt. Because one of my friends was saying, "Oh, yeah, you're good at Krav Maga, but you got to work in your ground fighting too." And I was like, "Absolutely." So, just with saw Vietnamese. I'm not sure what does that mean. But yeah, like I said, if you want to see students getting girlfriends and stuff, even from old training, yeah, it's like success leaves clues. These are real people. I haven't talked to them in a long time. So. But congratulations on the girlfriend thing. So, yeah. So for the rotation, go back to Elite 30 and practice every day for like 10 hours in the mirror. And there's a new social skills flow drill. I'm not sure if you used up all your Skypes. I remember used one Skype before. That's how you're going to get there with a new social skills flow drill for COVID. And whoever you close, you have to bang her over and over until she converts. So what program do you recommend to build a decent rotation with young girls? Right now, because you have my old programs before, get Elite Access. That way you can practice the social skills flow drill. And yeah, that's the only way I can teach you, because although it is in the Elite 30, I haven't defined it to such detail. During COVID-19, because of this London student, then he's able to do it. Although the London student, he did use his Skypes, he did pay $300 per Skype. So he did spend a lot to analyze his infields. So maybe you can follow his path too. He also got an infield analysis. Maybe save up. I'm 35 now. You're a little bit older. I always thought you looked like an older dude before, but now you're 35. It's like, now you look like your age. Now you look like your age, but you were younger before. I remember that. So I think right now, if there's two options you can do. You can save up for a Skype and infield analysis, and the students can get late on the first one and get results that quickly. I can analyze your infields. I'm the best infield analysis person in the world. Other people have no fucking clue. It doesn't take like such a long time to infield analysis for months and months or half a year. In one Skype, you can already get the results you're looking for. But that costs more money. The other one is Elite Access, which is not a coaching program. It's more of a consulting. But over the long term, I can still drop 2 hints a day, 2 tips a day. But they're both very good options. So I'm 35, 5'8" Latino. Pretty good. If you want to get more fuck buddies, then maybe start wearing elevator shoes. For you, you need a little bit more height just to create more of that compliance. Because it's good that you got your girlfriend and they're probably the same ethnicity as you in the same place. Whether you're Brazil or Argentina, I forgot exactly where you were. But you were in one of those Spanish or Spain or Portugal. Where the fuck you were. I can't remember. But however, by being a little bit taller, you'll be giving a lot more compliance for fuck buddies. So I would recommend you get above 5'9". What shoes to wear? Maybe you should ask me on Elite Access or Skype or train with me, so you can continue your training. So I'm in Dallas. Oh, okay. You have like a Brazilian or Argentinian flag on the whatever, but I have a lot of students from that area actually. From a lot of them got laid already. So I can't hook you up with wingmans there, but but a lot of the students were from Texas, Dallas, and Houston, this area. So I know about the whole area, the logistics, all that stuff. I won't say which students, but a lot of them right now are still from there. I've had elevator shoes. Yeah. Going back to the gym too. If you have Elite Access, you can use the V-shaped body exercise my students are using. They're much bigger now. That's what you need. And logistically, your place is very far. There's a lot of roads and stuff. So your logistics for same-day LAs might be a little bit different. So you will have to use a lot of social skills. This is how you're going to close. I also have, for Inner Circle, Instagram secrets too. Like the 6 algorithms, you know, to help you with that, to close the women as soon as they see all 6 pictures. You don't even need like 60, you just need 6 conversion. You know, yeah. But there's a lot of things you should ask me again. What training program, you know, contact me, is more suitable, and what's your budget? I'd like to train you again. You know, it'd be good to get another video testimonial. You know, you can make me one if you want to, but or I'd rather have the newer stuff in COVID-19. That's like the trophies for me. That's trophies. So $300 for now. How about this? Can you get me a Skype infield that is more than 15 or 30 minutes? Even if you can instant date or try to pull as much as you can. Record it with your earphones, and then use the $300 for infield analysis. I'll get you those fuck buddies. I'll get you at least 1 or 2 fuck buddies. After the next one, if you need more training, then you can save up. It'd be exactly like the London student. We can update the fashion, we can update the workout, we can update all that stuff and get you the results. So I remember I used to be with a redhead before, weren't you? I remember you had a redhead girl. So, but yeah. So for all the students are like, what the fuck? These old John Elite students, you know, are getting results. Yeah, I'm always like the best day game coach. It'll never change. It'll never change. No matter what people say, like, oh, I'm the best PUA in the world. Who gives a fuck? I'm the best day game coach in the world. I'm always going to be the best. And I'm very talented. I'm God gifted, and I'm very thankful for it. So, and you look at how many lives you have changed, and you're seeing them in real time. You see how many fucking lives you change. You got these other faggots like Holler from whatever, like trying to plug in their shit coaching, which I say nobody should take. You scumbag. You didn't even fucking pay me. Every time I brought up the money and stuff for coaching, it's like you don't even want to answer the question. You pump up information trying to figure out my coaching business. You piece of shit motherfucker for the other guy. Stupid. This is what the industry is, like shit. So it's from Costa Rica, American girl, but I want whites and other races. So you will need a fashion change. That means you will probably need to upgrade your wardrobe. I say using the Skype is the fastest way, because Elite Access is like COVID-19. The water is very stormy. It's like I'm giving 2 life preservers. But during a Skype, I can throw like 20 or 30 life preservers at you. All the advice you need as quick as possible, and analyze your infield and fix the body language. I think the Skype is the best option. So if you have $300, go get me the infield first. So it's like, I don't care about the money, to be honest. I make more than enough. But just get me that infield as fast as you can. Make sure you use earphones so I can get the clear audio. It does not come from your pocket, so it's not rustling. Okay, so I go to your website. You know, you used to have me on the Facebook too, right? You can contact me anywhere on Facebook, on the website, any of that stuff. And if you still have me on Skype, right? Look in your Skype, see if you can find my name in there and just contact me and say, hey, what's up? And we can set that up. And just promise me one thing. When you get the next fuck buddies, right? Make a video testimonial like this student and get me as many of the videos of the sex, the pics of the women in the bedroom, and all the audio infield you can. So I can put in your video testimonial. Okay, that'll be good. I'll censor you very, very well. So to share infield. To share the infield, you'd be sending to my Google Drive. From that point, I'll have it on my laptop. I can break it apart and start to go over it, and then go over it with you on Skype. And to do that, yes. And then afterwards, I'll send you a PayPal invoice, and then we get started. So simple. Simple. So if you guys are liking this, give it a thumbs up. If you're learning something, you're like, holy shit. No, it's no big deal to me. I used to have 10 fucking lay testimonials a week. 10. And I always taught my same style of game. When you go to Skype and stuff, it's exactly the same. I'm using the same products, the same shit, the same concepts. It was always my game. So he's using the Asian, version. I pick up Facebook. I lost the password. I have another one. Send me the other one. Just tell me who you are. It's me. And then just send me a message and then connect with me. Right? I'll know. So I'll know. I can ask you questions only you know. So, and I know it's you. Anyways, I gotta get something to eat eventually, and it's very hot in here. I'm sweating. That's why I was like, the nose is itchier earlier, but now it's cooling down. The weather is cooling down a little bit. But my God, fucking like 40 something degrees outside, man. It's insane out here. I'm surprised I didn't fucking faint here in this room. I hope you guys learned something about social skills and social calibrations. If flirting is varied, you guys have to choose which version works best for you, depending on your height and your race. So some of you might be good with direct flirts. Some of you good for indirect flirts. Some of you good for just elite 30 flirts, the body language. And some of you be better to just shove as much emotions to confuse her nervous system, which turns into sexual arousal. You got to find your style. You can't just depend on just excessive flirts. Maybe indirect flirts better because it works for short students. I have the same haircut than yours, but black color. Okay, that's good. I remember that. I remember that. You know, in order to bang all these other white women, I need you to lighten your hair. You're gonna become a light brown because if you have like a not Middle Eastern, but a Latino kind of SMV, you're gonna be like 6 or 7 out of 10 or 6.5. And right now, because after Trump, right, it's like he made you all look bad. So Middle Easterns went up, Latinos went down. If you have blue eyes, that'll be better. Blue contacts. If you can get blue contacts. If you can look like a white guy, you get a 10 out of 10 SMV. Despite your looks, and you have looks, so you do pretty well. You do well. So, yeah. Well, that's all I gotta say. On the infield, right? Do you want to try to pull, you try to escalate, you try to do whatever you normally do. The thing is about the watch time. How long can you last in the infield? The more data you give me, of course you try to pull, the more I can analyze it. If you fuck up the pull, I can tell you exactly all the issues that is fucked up, and that will lead to a lay next time. Of course, the better you can push it to a pull, to a close, the best as you can, the more data I have to help you fix every single thing. Because it's like walking a tightrope. If you walk further and you fell, I'll tell you exactly how to fix it so you don't fall at that point over and over again. So we try to get me as long as possible. Go out there right now and just start doing that. We'll discuss about lighting your hair and getting the contact lenses. Because I have a lot of students that are like French kind of people, or they're Spanish, like Spain, or they're whatever, right? They're like Latinos. But they always look like or Italians, they look like a different race. They don't look white. If you can look more white, white is right. I can get you even crazier results with more white girls. Your fashion needs to be whitewashed when you're triggering me. So have enough budget to buy a new pants. It doesn't have to be expensive, just $30 or something. Contact lens, you can't afford it. Bleach is easy to do. Just do what I say. So right now I'm a little bit like a dirty blonde. But it does help, and you can bleach your hair yourself. It's not hard. It's not hard. Even your girlfriend can help you do it to lighten the color. It's not expensive. I'm rusty. I know I get laid every other day from a girlfriend. Plus, I've gained weight, but I still try to gain. I'm an introvert, but I always approach anxiety practice. This is where ashwagandha will help you a lot, because you've never been fat with Cushing syndrome. So for you, ashwagandha is going to lower down anxiety a little bit more, so it's easier, it's less debilitating. The students that were chubby before and they're full of Cushing syndrome, they look like a moon face, then those students with so much cortisol will have it tough. But for you, it's just a little bit ashwagandha. How much mg a day? Maybe ask me over Skype or ask me over like whatever. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. There's so many students that want to train under me. There's a new batch now. So every time there's a new batch, I get like a bunch of them laid. And then the next batch is like Team A is the ones who get laid. Team B is like work in progress. And Team C is the ego-tripping people, motherfuckers, who are zombies. RSD victims who are unteachable. So yeah, you're probably going to be part of Team A very easily. Very easily. Even if you're Team B to Team A. It's like a Navy SEALs. Who's Team A, who's Team B? And who's Team C? Team C, I'm just going to not work so hard towards them because they're ego trippers during COVID. And low self-esteem, high ego. So that's all I gotta say. So, dude, my girlfriend don't trust me. She finds my videos where I banged girls before and she got pissed off. Well, then you gotta learn how to hide them better. You gotta learn how to hide them better. So she should not have access to any of that shit. So we're gonna have to find a way for you to send it to me quickly, and that way keep it out of her hands. So that's what you'll be doing. add it to your testimonial. Just send it to me on Google Drive. So that's all I gotta say. This is getting too long. I gotta stop exactly 3 hours. It's too long. But I wanted to be here a little bit. I have a lot to say. I hope you guys learn a lot. And yeah, I have every right to speak about the truth and the science behind the day game with my student results. So